Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? Wanted to come at you today and talk a little Marvel. Brought some of my favorite people with me to get at it and get some different opinions and see what people think about all things Marvel. We're going to be talking about the movies. We're going to be talking about Netflix. It would not be the same if I didn't do that and hit that and get a little double echo, because that's exactly how I start every stream. Now you know it's me. It's real. We're here. What's up? We got the magic Dawn of Ice and Fire. We got the #1 BBM 94, and we got the lovely AK. Get us started, AK. Where can the people find them? Tell them a little bit about you real quick before we get started.
What's good, man? First of all, thank you, DJ, for having me on. It's been like a year since I've seen your beautiful face, so I'm glad we get in the chat right now. Lord Commander AK, y'all know me. I'm usually bouncing around everybody's channels. You know who our family is, y'all. If you're watching this, you know who we roll with. So that's where you'll find me at any given point in time. But I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time on that because we need to get into this Marvel chat. Let's go.
Yeah, next up, what's up, Brokeblackman? Tell them who you are and what you do.
Hey, all Brokeblackman 94. You may know me as the master of Funko Pops, because every time I'm going to be talking, you're going to be seeing a mountain of Funko Pops. And I just started off with freaking not Yondu. I'm talking about Mary Poppins, y'all. That Emerald City Comic-Con exclusive, y'all, representing. Y'all, let's just simply just talk about Marvel, man. The greatness that is Marvel.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. And, of course, the one and only. I have been blessed and honored to meet this man and get him on my channel. Everybody give it up one time at home for the one, the only, Dawn of Ice and Fire. Tell him about it.
Valamogolis, everybody. This is Don Willie back again. And I know it's been a while since people have seen me, but DJ, I'm so glad that you invited me on this one with, some of my favorite people. So, I'm here to talk Marvel. Oh, I got my Thanos hat rocking, because that is the villain for the next Marvel movie. And, before that, let's give a shout out one time to Black Panther, keeping it Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. Hell yeah, that's just funny. They're like, you got to be careful with that. You're like, y'all know Wakanda ain't real, right? Just all you young folks out there.
Oh my God. Do you know how many arguments I've had with people about that? Going in on the most dumb shit. I'm like, yo, it's not a real place. You're mad that it didn't get filmed in Wakanda. This was an actual conversation I had with people. This is how stupid some folks are.
Oh,
like, you know what? Lord of the Rings wasn't filmed in Middle Earth either, bitches. What the fuck? Shut up. I'm just saying.
Oh. Lady, they be taking it to different depths. It's like, oh, come on now, let's have fun with a movie, but let's remember it's a movie. What was your overall perception of it, though? I mean, if you gave it A, B, C, D, or F, what'd you give it, AK?
Black Panther?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. From 1 to 10 plots of vibranium, I gave it a 9.5.
Wow, way up there.
Only because I'm expecting Infinity War to do better. They have been hyping us up for a decade now, and this is the culmination of our fandom. So I'm expecting them to hit all the points that Black Panther did and go beyond it.
Oh, what's up, brother JD? We got Pete Easy in the chat. We got JD. What's up? A couple of my favorite people from YouTube. Definitely get them in on one and be doing yeah, we got to do a few of these, do the Star Wars, do the DCs, but today it's going to be all about Marvel. Everybody's seen the entire season of Jessica Jones, yes?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
We might as well just get it started right there. What do you guys think about Netflix and how they're doing? It's like you got Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Defenders. I mean, we already know Iron Fist is. We can almost just forget about that. That was goddamn ridiculous. But what's your favorite going down the line, starting with the Dawn, Ice, and Fire? What's your favorite Netflix series?
Oh man, as far as being consistent, favorite series is probably Jessica Jones, followed by Daredevil. Then we'll go Luke Cage, and listen, Defenders and Iron Fist were both trash. But you know what? I left out Punisher. I have to go back and rewatch that. Unfortunately, I tried watching it when I was kind of under the weather, and I never finished it. And when Jessica Jones popped up, I kind of breezed through that real quick. So I'll have to leave Punisher off the list. But from what I remember, it started out very good. But yeah, Iron Fist, absolute trash, 100%. Just garbage. And you know what's the funny thing? Like real quick side note. A lot of those locations, because it's filmed in New York City, a lot of those locations I recognize. And in fact, where Danny Rand's house was like 2 blocks from where I went to high school. So yeah, that was pretty interesting.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah, and
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and Defenders was a disappointment to me. Yeah, so
I agree 100%. You put Daredevil right there, 1 and 2, right behind each other in kind of the same spot.
Yeah, I mean, because Daredevil season 1 was a tour de force. It was one of those, like, for it being Marvel's and Netflix first outing, it was one of those things where it was like you weren't sure what to expect with it, because it wasn't really comic booky. You know, the Netflix shows don't really delve into like what you consider to be the most superhero-esque fare. So it was a little more gritty, which I liked. The only drawbacks to it were the fact that it didn't, and it may be because of the budget, or maybe because they decided they wanted the style to be different, but it didn't really draw on a lot of the more superhero aspects of you know, of the Marvel universe. So yeah, I mean, like, there are a lot of Easter eggs in there, which I loved. Some of them tied back to, you know, the Avengers. Obviously, there were a couple of actually tied into Agents of Shield, which I was surprised about. And Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. I mean, like, oh man, that was like they say, the villain really makes the series, and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin really made season 1. Season 2 got a little inconsistent with the tone, because, you know, the first half really focused on Elektra, and then the second half, or am I getting it wrong? It was all right. The first half focused on Punisher, second half focused on Elektra. So, it was a bit of a balancing act that they, you know, it was a little like, I see what they tried to do. It was still a good season, but not as good as the first one. And as far as Jessica Jones, I think Jessica Jones, even though season 2 was a little rocky because you didn't have the Purple Man to kind of hold it down the way he did in the first season, I think when they kind of brought him back as being in her head, and you know, Jessica kind of going through the residual effects, that kind of bumped it up just a little bit, for me at least.
I agree wholeheartedly with most of that. Absolutely. What about you, Brokeblackman? What was your favorite Netflix series? And I'm the same with you, Don Willie. I made it to episode 8 in The Punisher, and I didn't think I was going to like it that much. I freaking love it so far. It's been great. But that's the only one I haven't finished. I'm only to episode 8. But yeah, so far so good. I love it. But what about you, BBM? What's your favorite Netflix, and why?
For mine, my favorite one has to be a tie between, no, it has to be Daredevil. It has to be my favorite, from the villains, from the story they set up. Like, with the Hand, it was so much better explained and dealt with with Daredevil that I don't even know why they even bothered to even put it with a little bit of Iron Fist, even though granted the comics is more of dealing with him. But the way how they did it was just like, okay, why? Even when it came to Defenders, it was like he was one who kept getting like beaten up the most. He was even like freaking Daredevil pretty much saved the day. So they really should have surrounded it more with just Daredevil and just dealing with that with season 2. Then with Defenders, they could have did something else. Again, that just like Don, I was also disappointed with Defenders. It's like how they did with the Marvel movies, how they got pretty much everyone together for Avengers, how great that was. I was expecting the same thing with Defenders, but it was just like 7 out of 10 for me with Defenders. It's like really just disappointing. And just
I
like
think that's high.
it really was my rating for Defenders. But yeah, it's like good parts of it. Well, again, was Daredevil, and then with Jessica Jones bit. Like, granted, with Luke Cage and the relationship between him with Danny Rand, okay, it was enjoyable. But everything else, it's like the first person who was got their ass kicked was freaking Danny Rand as Iron Fist. So at one point, I'm just like, what? And even how they conclude it, like he still hasn't like got his like actual Iron Fist, like actual suit from the comics. So even then, I'm still just a bit disappointed. And just like leaving the city to him, like Hell's Kitchen, like no, just no. But my favorite has to be with freaking Daredevil. Jessica Jones, I love season 1. Again, Purple Man, David Tennant basically made that freaking first season. Granted, he wasn't there in season 2, mostly as you know, that cameo for that one episode though. But season 2 was just mainly like an origin story for expanding with Jessica Jones. So I would accept that. Like, why really wasn't there like an overarching like big bad as it was for the first one? But I still enjoyed season 2. Luke Cage, I enjoyed it all. But when it came to the death of Cottonmouth onwards, I was like, okay, why they do that? Like, the rest of it was trash. So again, I'll just give like a 7 out of 10 though. But so far, the only 2 Marvel Netflix that haven't disappointed me was Daredevil and Jessica Jones. I haven't seen The Punisher yet. I have to watch Punisher.
I'm with you right there. It's the only one I love. Jessica Jones is my favorite. Both seasons, I love it. Yeah, that's by far my favorite. Actually, Daredevil, the first season was pretty great too. I like that one a lot. So Daredevil season 1 and Jessica Jones season 2 are pretty close, but season 2, yeah. But season 1 for Jessica Jones was far and away the best for me. What about you, AK? Which order did you like?
I don't know. I think mine are interchangeable on some levels, but my number 1, because he started it all, was Daredevil 1, and he brought us into the street level, and I think they did it with just the right amount of dark mixed in, and it has Rosario Dawson as the night nurse. How do you not like Rosario Dawson? I mean, just saying. After that, I'm gonna say Jessica Jones 2, then Jessica Jones 1. Daredevil season 2, Punisher, Luke Cage, Defenders, Iron Fist. Defenders and Iron Fist are kind of interchangeable, but Defenders was still better because everybody else can kind of cover up the Danny Rand. I mean, they took 2 people from Westeros and put them in one series, and the one that's supposed to be the sidekick shines a hell of a lot better than the star of the show. That is a problem. And for anybody that watches this later, if you don't know who I'm talking about, the girl that plays Colleen Weege was one of the Sand Snakes. And of course, Danny Rand was Loras Tyrell. He should have stayed his ass and be in the Night of Flowers and gave somebody else that role. But, that's neither here nor there. With Daredevil, I like how they wove in everything with Elektra. And I fully agree with Vincent D'Onofrio. Talk about epic casting. Vincent D'Onofrio, I've loved him since he played like Discount Thor in Adventures in Babysitting. So now to see where he is with his skill level now, and he's just phenomenal anytime he's on the screen. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Wilson Fisk interact some more with Daredevil and with the rest of the Defenders, because I don't think they're going to get rid of him anytime soon. Luke Cage was cool. I think there was a little bit of oomph, I think, that was missing, but they still pulled it off. His introduction with Jessica Jones, I think, worked very well to set up his series, and I really like their interactions. I'm still hoping that they actually pull their comic relationship in, but it's still early in the game, relatively, for the street level heroes, so we'll see where that goes. let's see, Punisher. You got to finish Punisher, man. Punisher is fucking awesome. They picked the right dude to play him. Shane, this is like Shane on crack. It is what the Punisher is, and it works. It freaking works. Like, he embodies that character. John Berthal, you'll never see this, but kudos to you, good sir. And you know, I don't really need to say much else about Iron Fist. Defender, we'll just skip over that. Defenders, they also had a bit of oomph missing. It's their fight scenes are cool if you ignore Danny Rand. Like that one big hallway scene that they had. If you watch it, you can tell where he was almost like jumping the gun and he had to step back a little bit and wait and then go in and do his little one punch move. It's like, bruh, you have to practice when you're not on screen. You have to make these things look good. You can tell everyone else knows what they're doing. They've done their training, their proper training, but Loris, you're leaving a lot lacking, young man. And if you get a season 2, I need you to be better. That's pretty much it.
He's gonna get a season 2, and I don't know if he can be better. It wasn't just Iron Fist wasn't bad. It was terrible. I mean, absolutely terrible. It's so bad that he made Defenders really not good. I was so looking forward to that. How do you mess that up? That many superstars on screen. How is that not amazing? And yet it was not amazing in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, and Luke Cage, I put him right before that. I mean, the first half was cool. The second half just kind of lost it for me. And I really have high hopes for season 2 at Luke Cage. I think it's going to be a lot better. I think they'll get their bearings. They'll kind of figure out what they want to do. And I think it'll be a lot better.
One thing I did forget, I will say, for the villains, Alfre Woodard, I really enjoyed how she played her character. I would have liked to see Cottonmouth a little bit more, but her, Black Mariah, coming up, she was like the sneak that came in, and they played her part very, very well. And I loved how that duality that she had before she finally snapped and let what's essentially her bloodline take over.
Yeah, she did a great job. She's a great villain. I agree 100%.
What it was anyone else kind of confused by Shades at first, though? Like
confused how?
By the end of it, he was cool, but at first it was kind of like, okay, what's up with the gravelly voice? And like, what is supposed to be his deal? Like, because I wasn't exactly sure what his deal was. It was like,
he's a gangster. He's a bad boy. I've seen every episode of Oz, so I couldn't get that image out of my mind. And seeing him being somebody else and doing it the way he was doing, it was killing me. I was like, put him back in a jail cell because he killed it in Oz, but he was terrible. That whole thing, I'm telling you, the whole second half of Luke Cage, I was like, what the hell is going on? Well, I didn't like the way they went. I just did not like it.
But I have a question, another question for everyone. Does anyone think that I Want You Cray Cray is going to be like a big single?
Oh my God! Why did you bring it up?
It needs to be. It needs to be. Was there anything greater than when Kilgrave was walking behind Jessica, just cray cray? I want you cray cray. Are you kidding me? I was loving that. I was loving that.
What club are you going to go to and DJ and play that damn song?
Hey, don't
you know
get
what?
me wrong.
None of them.
But you know there's a full video for that, right?
What's that?
You know there's a full video for that song?
Shut the hell up.
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix YouTube channel that they have. I think that's where I saw it.
It's on the Marvel YouTube channel too.
That is disappointing.
Yeah, I gotta check that out because that was fantastic. Wow. I don't know what you're talking about. That was absolutely fantastic.
There are literally no words to it other than cray cray.
JD just said like the awesomest thing ever. Get rid of Iron Fist and put Punisher with the Defenders. The only thing is, he don't really play well with others, though. He doesn't always play well with others.
It doesn't matter. That's okay. Neither does Jessica Jones.
But that's a good idea.
No, that's a genius. That's why JD's the man, because that's a great idea. Man, we thought Loris was doing things. Loris is not doing things.
Here's a question.
Okay.
Where do you guys think the next big crossover is going to happen? Like with who? Like what? Who do you think is going to cameo on someone else's upcoming show?
I think somebody from the Defenders. I don't think Luke Cage will be by himself. I think he'll have some of the Defenders coming through. They might start trying to tie that Danny Rand and him, really try to tie that friendship in on the next one.
Yeah, I think Heroes for Hire is coming.
Yeah, I mean they've already shown that one, and plus, whatchamacallit, Misty Knight. You know, she's got the new
Daughters of the Dragon.
Yeah, she's got the robotic arm from Rand Industries instead of Stark Industries.
I was wondering which one they were going to pick to do it.
Right.
Bravo on Misty Knight too. My goodness.
Oh my God, is she not just beautiful?
Yes,
ma'am. Lord.
Hello.
I mean, that was perfect casting too, because
excellent.
She looks exactly like the comic book.
Even down to the freaking afro, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they got it all dialed in. And I mean, it's easier to do the hair, but I mean, just the attitude, the body, the way she portrayed it, I was like, everything about it was just perfection.
Yep, agreed.
So we got one, and I haven't heard from BBM for a second. We're going to take it back into Jessica Jones. And what do you think about? Do you think it was right for Jessica to turn in her mom? Could you do that?
No, I wouldn't even turn in my own mom. If my mother was like doing like crimes or even killing people, I wouldn't even turn her in. Like, get out of here. But like at the end of the day, though, like it had to be done. Like they were closing in on her, and plus it looked like she was even going to give up her own self the moment she was going to freaking Playland and stuff. But it was really inevitable. But it was sad that Trish had to be the one to even shoot her, though. Because now every time Jessica looks at her, it's like, oh yeah, you're going to be the one person I look. Not as a friend or sister.
Didn't have to be you. Didn't have to be you.
That is why I am so glad Jessica slammed the door in that bitch's face.
You know
we knew what was coming. We knew what was coming. Alyssa knew where that was headed. That's why they could have got away. But she wanted to stop, have that last good moment in their spot from Jessica's childhood. She knew what was coming. I don't even think she would have fought. I think she would have just either let them take her or did something to make them kill her. But it did not have to be freaking Patsy running up trying to be all gung-ho. Like, bitch, Alyssa called it right. You're just jealous that you don't have fucking powers and you can't stand it that Jessica does.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
That's all it is. It was all pure vanity. Trish is just like her fucking mom. As much as she hates it, she's just like her mom.
You know what's crazy? Because that was kind of a turn in her character this season. And it was really sparked by her meeting up with Will Simpson. Because once she realized that Will Simpson had that inhaler and that was the thing that was giving him the strength, she was like, I wonder if that can do it for me too.
She didn't even think about it. She didn't even think about it. She just did it.
Right. And I mean, I like the fact that they kind of delved into their backstory a little bit in terms of just showing like the rocky relationship that her and Jessica have had. I thought that was excellent. But yeah, Trish, man, Trish was the most selfish character on this, like in this particular season, even more than her mom, and it was definitely to the detriment of everyone around her. But real quick, what was up with Jessica like really pushing Malcolm away the way she did? Because in the first season, she really goes out of her way to save him, and then this time around, it's like, man.
Yeah, but she was hurting. She was not in a good
emotions.
Place. And you got to realize
manipulated him.
Yeah, you got to realize though. I mean, that's kind of their relationship. That's what she does. She fired him every single day. That's just kind of what she did. I mean, she fires him, tells him to go away, and he comes back and peels her off the floor the next day. So that's kind of their relationship. And that's why when she said that last time and he was really hurt, like how he did that, and she was really kind of feeling it, she was just lost in her emotions. But that's why he said, just in case you change your mind, I quit, and turned around and walked away, because that was their thing. She was just going off on him and figured it'd be okay in the morning. She was just really in her feelings, and that's why he was like, no, you've gone too far. I quit this time. I'm really done.
For me, the way that she was doing it, especially with this season, because she always looked at Malcolm as her little brother. So within the season, they keep on like reopening the wounds about her freaking dead brother. I think that's why she was more okay. You're fired, you're fired, you're fired repeatedly, and just being even more distant to him than for the season.
I don't think she would have changed her mind in the morning. I think at that point in time, yes, she was in her emotions, but it had to do more with you actually let her manipulate you and use you against me. That's, I think, where her head was at. She knew Trish was on some bullshit, and she was trying to keep all of them out of it and deal with the stuff herself. And Malcolm, that's one of the things he said, is like, we thought we were helping you. No, there was no we. You let yourself be manipulated. You let yourself basically be used as a weapon against me. And I can't forgive you for that, especially when it has to do with my mom. I can't really fault her for. I mean, I can see both sides of the coin. I guess I can't really fault her for that. But the one I will fault is Trish, because she's a selfish bitch. I was so happy to see her character in the beginning, and I was thinking, okay, she's training. We're gonna get Hellcat, and it's gonna be awesome. And now I'm like, no, I don't even want to see that shit.
You gotta remember, somebody named Hellcat from Hell is probably not gonna be the nicest or coolest person in the world. I'm just saying. But
you're still not supposed to turn on your sister like that, man. It's not cool.
Hell no. And do you guys, is Trish the most self-centered, conceited person? Like, is she the most self-serving
absolutely
person in the MCU? Like, I think she gives Tony Stark a run for the money. I mean, is there anybody more self-centered than Trish?
Tony at least has skills outside of the superhero shit. Trish, she's a product of her mom. And I think, honestly, she's a bit short-sighted in everything she does. That's why everything that she does eventually crumbles, and she has to find something else to do.
Well, you did notice at the end with her.
Yeah,
right?
Oh yeah. She got what she wanted, essentially, and I'm pretty sure that her and her manipulative-ass mom are going to find a way to spin that.
So we didn't get your answers. AK, could you turn your mom in if she was out there committing mass murders and out of control, and you knew she was going to kill other people?
If she was on the level that Alyssa was on, I think I would have done quite a few things that Jessica did. Particularly towards the end, is I would have, if I know that I'm the one that can handle her, and I do, even if it's a small window, I can pull her back, then we're just going to go somewhere and I'm going to have to watch her until whenever. Jessica, what Jessica did towards the end, what she was trying to do, go and get her away and they maybe be a tag team or whatever, that's probably the same step I would have done. I mean, because you can't let a mass murderer just run around, man. I mean, blood is blood, but come on now.
What about you, Willie? What would you do in that situation?
Honestly speaking, I am not sure. Look, turning in any parent would be difficult, and especially you got to think about it. I mean, like, remember the reason why Jessica Jones named her detective agency Alias is because of the boyfriend that her mother killed. She comes back. We find out that she, has been killing people. And remember, she was going to let Jessica go down for one of those murders. So, it's difficult to say as to whether or not I would have turned her in. But I mean, like, and again, I'm going strictly off of what she actually did in the show. Honestly speaking, I don't know. Look, I will say that Trish shooting her, not good.
Not good.
But at the end of the day, I mean, it's like, look, she lost all kind of impulse control. You know, she was trying, but I think at the end she already knew, like, look, this isn't gonna work. Us being on the run isn't gonna work. She was willing to turn herself in after they had like one last kind of night of fun together. But yeah, man, listen, the other two are like, nah, I wouldn't turn her in. But you got to think, man, Jessica Jones's life was being turned upside down, torn apart, rolled over with a steamroller, and I'm not sure that there's a way to put it back together after this.
Oh no, it's tough. You might have to go Ned Stark on it and just do a lady situation, because it's an impossible question. I mean, unless you're in it doing it, it's like what you're gonna do, and that's it. Your mom that you thought was gone, that you think is this gift coming back, and you're gonna catch up on all this lifetime worth of memories, but she's killing people. And she can't help it. It's not her fault. She just cannot help it. She's going to kill again. And that's just, it's an impossible situation. And until
I will say though, that little asshole that was the head guard, I wish Alyssa would have been the one to get him. Jessica did it on accident. She didn't mean for it to go where it did. But he deserved it. And that's one kill I'm not mad at.
My question is though, was it an accident? Because when she's sitting there in her head and in her feelings and talking and like, make it look like an accident, and she's like, it was an accident. It's like she's having like a little conflict with herself. Like, wait a minute, was this really an accident? Or do I know this motherfucker was abusing my mom and I just put one on? I'm like, yeah, you don't get to do that. I feel so bad about being the one that put her in jail. You got to go. You'll never abuse her again.
Well, no, see, that was after it happened though. That's why she went and found the evidence. I think she was going to set him up for the fall for all the shit that he did beforehand. I don't think she had planned on killing him, but for whatever reason, she stopped listening to her spidey senses.
She's not a killer. She didn't plan on it. But once he maced her, once he's got her down, once she knows in the back of her head, like, you're abusing my mom, you've killed other prisoners, you may end up killing my mom. Subconsciously, she might have put a little something extra into that little baton hit and crushed his skull to kill him, is what I'm saying.
I'll give that a Dexter credit. He was a fucking serial killer himself. He just wasn't caught. Just saying. He got fired or put on administrative leave or whatever the fuck they did.
Right. He got fired. He got let go. He got fired. Absolutely fired.
Before we move on to the next subject, I had a continuity question.
What's that?
Like, was it just me, or when Alyssa first met with Jessica, when they were at that bar where she was supposed to be meeting with Trish, but Jessica went instead? Did it seem like Alyssa didn't actually know who Jessica was to y'all? Because I got the vibe that she didn't know who Jessica was, but from the background story, she knew exactly who Jessica was.
I got the vibe she knew exactly who it was, and she was pissed because that's her daughter, and all of a sudden she started catching massive feelings, and she was getting weird because, oh my God, this is my baby girl.
Okay.
That's how I took it. I was just like, oh my God, yeah, she was just tripping out because she's actually finally getting to see her baby girl. She wanted to see her way back when, but she knew she couldn't handle it because she ended up killing her boyfriend.
Yeah, that shit was so stuck. You know what? Boyfriend didn't deserve to get dead, but he needed to be roughed up because that was fucked up, bro. You don't pimp out your girl's powers, man. Come on. At least talk to her first. She was already doing a whole bunch of other fuck shit for y'all to have money. I mean, she might have been down.
Right? How are you going to walk up to a storefront and be like, I want my girlfriend to have that, and make her break her own shit to steal her own jacket? But yeah, that's the thing she remembers and loves him so much for, is like, you had to break in and steal. He didn't break in and steal that for you. You had to get that shit yourself.
It's that fucking Destiny's Child song. You borrowing my credit card and buying me gifts with my own fucking money. That's it. You can't pay these bills, bruh. But you're gonna pimp out my powers
Like
because your ass is in trouble.
She still stayed with them. She still did.
All right.
I understand that still don't mean he could pimp out her powers. I'm just saying.
Absolutely not. Well, while we're on the subject of stealing things, we'll go to BBM. We haven't heard from you in a second. Do you think Chang's friend that Jess's mom ended up killing after he stole from Jessica, do you think he deserved to die?
Nah, he didn't deserve to die though. Like, talk about the same. Wait, hold on. The same dude that was with Jessica's mom?
No, the guy Chang, Jessica's
the guy she killed in the van.
The guy that ended up shooting Jessica.
No,
his friend, he sent him in there to steal all Jessica's stuff.
No, he was innocent. He didn't have to die. I think it was just the way how the mother basically does everything is basically just killing. That's her only really solution. But like, he really didn't need to die though. She, if anything, she really could have just grabbed him, at least knocked him out, and just grabbed all the information that he took, and been on her way. But she just simply just killed him. Not only that,
a little anger management problem, we know about that. But if he wasn't in there stealing her daughter's shit, that wouldn't happen.
Not only that, though, immediately she doesn't even like kill the dude normally. She could literally just snap his neck and be done with it. She literally just like took him. She did to the point that when the cops showed up, they were like, "Yeah, this has to be freaking Jessica Jones." Because of that, she even got arrested. Like, no.
I thought that was fantastic. Don Willie, do you think Jess was too easy on Chang for shooting her? Do you think she went a little too easy on that? I mean, he shot her. Like, do you think she let him off too easy? Like, you don't tell on me, I won't tell on you? Or do you think that was the right way to go about that?
I mean, look, she kind of had to let him off to a certain extent. I mean, because you got to think about it. The reason why he shot her was basically because he was under the impression that she killed his friend. Now, again, two wrongs don't make it right, and I think that's part of what Jessica realized was like, look, okay, yeah, this dude was on some bullshit, but this dude didn't have to die.
He wasn't trying to shoot Jess. He was trying to shoot her mom, and Jess just ended up getting in the way, like pushing her mom out of the way, and Jess took the bullet.
Yeah, I mean, but look, her mom was causing all kinds of problems. All kinds of problems. She needed to go. And yeah, look, man, it's like, how do you not feel for just about everyone in this situation? Everybody pretty much was getting the short end of the stick when it came to this situation, with her mom being reintroduced. Everybody, no one left this season unscathed. No one left without huge traumatic physical and emotional scars and psychological scars. And it's one of those things where it's like, well, what other choice did Jessica really have? Were you going to compound your mother's fuck up by now killing this guy too? Because had it not been for your mom going overboard, because Jessica Jones wouldn't have killed that dude. She might have roughed him up and told him, hey, listen, I know who you work for. Tell your boy I'm not down for the fuckery. Don't come back to my place. But, basically ripping him apart and fucking splattering his blood all over the place, not what Jessica would have done, even at her worst.
No, she definitely wouldn't have. I mean, she'd got shot and still really didn't do much about it, which is amazing. AK, do you think Jerry Chang, the man that shot her, do you think he took enough responsibility? I mean, he was like, when she went in there and he was like, okay, well, she's like, it's a Class B felony, so you want to go to jail for 10 years or you want to call this a wash? And he's like, okay, we'll call it a wash. But your mom's another thing. It's like, that guy had kids. It's like, you're the motherfucker that sent him there. If you don't send him there to steal from Jessica, none of this happened. So, I mean, do you feel like you took enough responsibility for what happened?
First of all, that guy came into the series being an asshole. He came in and they could have partnered up. They could have just not even spoken or not done anything. He was not on Jessica's radar at all. But because Jessica is good at what she does, she was on his. So he came in being a cocky little dick and wanting to buy out her business, basically liquidate her because he didn't want clients going to her. Mind you, again, this dude was not on Jessica's radar. That's not how she operates. She didn't give a fuck about what he was doing. You're doing your thing, fine. I'm going to do mine. But he came in being an asshole. And it just kept compounding and compounding until he had this dude break into her place. Did he deserve to die? No, that guy did not. However, the possibility, even without Alyssa in the picture, the possibility of something happening and him dying was still there. You sent him to a person's apartment who has powers, who you know can fuck shit up on her worst day. And still
has already walked into your office and smacked you around.
You exactly, like, why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. So no, that man did not deserve to die. But that asshole Chang, a little bit on the fence with him. He's got a whole lot to answer for. I mean, he was even stealing clients from her from the beginning. That older lady who was looking for her son. When Jessica called her back, she said, "Oh, I decided to take another route." No, Chang got to her. That's what it was, and I'm pretty sure he did that with a few other people.
Of course he did.
But I don't think that's cool.
He was trying to get in and be Jerry's new guy and trying to get Jerry to jump him.
And Jerry had to put the lockdown on his ass because when you're that sleazy in that business, I have no respect for you. Granted, doing what you do, you got to get your hands a little dirty sometimes. But you, bruh, nah.
He crossed the line. And I just don't think he took nearly enough responsibility.
Exactly. I might not have faulted Alyssa if, let's say she didn't kill him. She just, broke a couple things that made it difficult for him to get through life. I wouldn't have been mad at her. That may be harsh. I blame George R.R. Martin, damn it. I'm used to thinking about shit in Westeros. It's a bloodthirsty world out there.
Wait, real quick, I think we do need to touch on Jerry Hogarth. We definitely have to talk.
Can we touch on Jerry Hogarth in them fucking?
Oh, we got a few things to talk about Jessica Jones. We're not going anywhere off Jessica for a minute.
Let's not forget about Trinity still looking fine as hell in them dresses.
Yeah, but let's talk about her trash dancing.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, damn
it, she was high. She was high when he was
dance for you.
Okay, hold on, Don Woolley, bro. What would you say no? Because of that dance?
No, it's not that I would say no, but you know what? I would rob it too. You go.
That's fucked up, man.
What?
Look, hey, in that black dress, she was looking like you're like,
come on, son.
Got it.
Come on, son. Yo, Trinity can still get it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, of course. I mean, listen, personally, she looks better now than she did. Back when she
does. She got that thickness on her now. Like she been eating the good to get that booty going.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I was watching. I was like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is she doing?
Still better dance moves than that damn walk the sorceress had in fucking Suicide Squad. Just saying.
Oh my God.
How do we feel? What's that? How do we feel about Trish? Is she for sure getting Hellcat powers? Is she turning into Hellcat, or was that just a quick Easter egg and not going to go anywhere? What's going to happen with Trish?
That's definitely going somewhere. I don't think they ever set up things like that or show things like that without it being paid off. And I mean, come on, man. Who didn't see it coming the moment that she went under? It's like, all right, yeah, they're gonna tuck this away right now, make it seem like she didn't get any powers, and then at some point they're gonna reveal that she does have powers. I mean, I saw that coming from a mile away, and plus, I think that Netflix is going to up the power ratio when it comes to the side characters. Any characters that they've introduced that do have powers in the comic books that they haven't shown with powers yet are going to wind up getting powers. But again, like I said before, this is part of the drawback that I have with the Netflix shows is that it seems that they've kind of depowered these characters just a little bit from their comic book versions, and I wish that they would kind of make it a little more like the comic book versions when it comes to them using their powers.
I can't really speak on that too much. I'm not a comic book fanboy. I have to admit, I've only seen the movies, so I'm only like Netflix deep or the little bit extra that I see on YouTube here and there. Shout out to Comics Explained and all those cats.
Rob, you are the fucking boss.
Oh yeah, I'll be watching all those. It's hella tight. It's like, oh, that's what happened. Okay, I can expect that. Okay, that's what's happening. That's what's coming. I love that.
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh, go ahead. Okay.
I don't think they would have spent this much time during the season on Trish and her extracurricular fuckery if they weren't in the end going to give her the powers. I mean, they kind of started it last season with her training and wanting to get her strength and endurance up. You know, that's something that Hellcat is known for. So for them to go in so hard on her character development, and that's pinpoint for later if you didn't have it on the list already, DJ, character development for all of these people was phenomenal this season. But for Trish, you know, we have to expect it. There's no way that it was just a little tidbit and she just happened to have a lucky thing and catch her phone the way she did and nothing else come from that. It wouldn't make sense.
How sick was that at the beginning of episode 3? Like, if you blinked and you missed it, but if you were staring at the TV, all of a sudden you're just looking at the ocean, and boom, this just body comes flying. Like, did you even notice what that was the first time when you're watching it? When Jess threw that body into the ocean?
It had to be the freaking ex-boyfriend. Like, he just died, and they had to hide the body some way, somehow.
Yeah, that was crazy to me because they threw him. They threw him like off the beach in Rockaway or something like that.
Yeah.
Because at first it looked like they were just skipping rocks, and then the body, I'm like, holy shit. Yeah,
that was insane. That's when they were really trying to show Jessica's true power. I mean, she tossed him like a half mile out into the ocean.
You know what? I was actually surprised that they killed off Will Simpson so early, though, man. I thought that he was going to. I thought he was going to be a background player for a little while, and it was just like, nope, get him the fuck out of here early.
Yeah, real quick. The thing that tripped me out is when they were in there, and right after he died, and they came in there and heard him scream, and then all of a sudden something jumped over him. I was like, what the hell was that? Now I get like they're trying to play it off like maybe that was Jessica's mom. She just killed him, and she's jumping and getting away, but at first, I was like, is that Chang character? Does he have special powers now? Is this new superpower?
I would have been mad if it would have been Chang. I would not. That is not something that I would have liked. So it I think hit the right spot. And I think for Trisha's arc to get started the way it did, they had to get rid of Simpson because there's no other reason that she would have had that inhaler.
Right.
He wouldn't have just let her take it.
That's true.
But I mean, when Simpson died, like I thought that I was at IGH, like must have had like someone with the similar powers as Jess, whatever, going after him and like killing all these people, like the wizard. Like when he first was introduced, I thought, oh, this is some crazy person saying like they just had power, just visiting Jessica Jones. Maybe they're just like a fanboy, whatever. And then the moment he came back the second time, I was like, wait a minute. So we're gonna have this like throughout this whole entire season, like every episode or so, he's gonna come out of nowhere. But then he actually had abilities. I was like, okay. And then they kill him.
His abilities were kind of jank, though, man. I don't know if I can really count that as such a huge ability. Like when superheroes run and they're supposed to be known for speed, they blur. Like you can literally sit and watch this guy in his little speed form.
He said he is a fear-based superhero. That's what it is.
I mean, it's funny though. Because,
come on, man.
But it's funny though because he's based on a comic book character,
an actual character, right?
From like the 1940s.
Yeah.
And you know, like when I saw like, oh, you know, they got the wizard. I'm like, okay, let's see what they do with it. Oh, and he's dead.
Not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing. It was a quick nod. It was a quick hello to the old school, you know, readers. Like, yeah, we just brought this one in for you. Easter egg gone by dead.
Oh, and did you guys catch the Stan Lee poster cameo? I believe it was either episode 3, episode 4.
I thought it was even later than that, like 6. But yeah,
I was gonna say, yeah. I don't think it was early on.
It was just his poster. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the Stan Lee cameo for the next.
You know, they don't got the budget. They don't. I mean, they balled out of control, but they don't got the budget for Stan Lee right just yet.
But they did a twist to you know, great power comes great responsibility to great mental illness.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
I like how they showcased her strength too. Like when she's grabbing all Simpson's guns and stuff, and Trisha's like, "Oh no, I'll take those," and she's like, "Okay," and she lets go, and Trisha's instantly like just fell. Like it just, I like the way they showed Jessica's strength right out of the gate, right after they just pitched that guy up.
More.
What's that?
I want them to play her up more though. Like I want them to get not the super jump, but the actual bit of flight going in there also.
Well, they say because like in the first season, they say she said she doesn't so much fly as like jump and fall, like jump real far and fall. But her mom was saying that she could leap 10 stories.
If she practiced, right? That's what I'm saying. If she practiced, she could get better control over that.
Absolutely. But
yeah, that's what they don't really show all that much. And honestly speaking, that seems like something that wouldn't be crazy on the budget, you know, because you're just talking wire work.
Exactly.
I was expecting that for like Defenders, like she just come out of nowhere and start flying, and everyone's gonna like look at her like
that would have been the perfect time to showcase.
I got you.
That would have been their Ant-Man moment when Ant-Man grew into Giant Man, and everybody was like, "What the fuck?" That would have been their moment for that.
Yeah, I was expecting that during the elevator scene. You know, when she's holding the cables for the elevator, I thought we were gonna see her flying then. Right,
like she's got the strength. She could have just pulled everybody up, but no, they went the low budget route.
And they killed Elektra, which was oh man. I hope.
Do you think she's dead?
I hope not.
Okay. I don't think she's dead. I don't think she's too big a character.
She's a big character and she's fine.
Oh my lord! Yes, we are 2 for 2. Damn it, Trinity and Elektra. Yes.
Jessica Jones.
Marvel is cool with the girls, ladies. I'm sorry, they're not girls. They're good with the ladies. Keep doing what you do, Marvel. Keep doing what you do.
Jessica Jones says Trish wants ratings, powers, and stardom, and Trish is like, yes, yes, and yes, because all those things will help her and help people, or help her help people. And Jess is like, yeah, but you're not helping me right now. And without missing a beat, Trish just turns it all back around her. I mean, at this point, is she really still a friend or just a jealous wannabe? I mean, they say they're sisters, but I mean, is she really still her sister, or is she literally just a hater that wants her powers?
From Jump Street, if we look at the flashbacks and their interactions, I think they've been having that back and forth for a long time. And it seems like because Trish is jealous and selfish, she turns things back around constantly on Jessica, which if you watch is the exact same damn thing that her mother does. Like when she thought Trish was going to die, she started being all nice and buddy, and Jessica was like, what the hell? You've been blaming me for 17 years. Why aren't you blaming me now? Well, my daughter's about to die. That's the one thing I'll give her mom. At least she's upfront about her bullshit. My daughter's about to die, so you're pretty much all I have left. So I kind of have to try to showcase. And best believe had Trish died, she would have been trying to do that shit with Jessica. It wouldn't have gone far because Jessica ain't for the fuck shit. But that's basically what Trish is doing. She's emulating her mom without even knowing it. And she's always been doing that. Jessica's always been trying to help her and keep her away from bullshit, but this always ends up happening. And I think it's going to be a hell of a lot a hell of a lot to make them reconcile if they ever do. And I honestly wouldn't blame Jessica if she never got cool with her again.
Well, can I make a prediction for season 3 of Jessica Jones?
Bring it.
All right, so season 3, I believe Trish is going to try to be a celebrity superhero. Her and Jessica are going to get into some type of issues because, you know, it's going
Booster Gold.
Huh?
Booster Gold style.
Yeah, it's going to be the Booster Gold thing. And Jessica and Trish are going to wind up having issues. And at the end of it, Trish is going to realize the reason why Jessica has been so low key, especially dealing with her powers for all this time. So I think that's what's going to wind up happening. First half of the season is going to be, I think we're going to see like a time jump. We're going to see Trish has started doing some vigilante stuff. She winds up getting into the paper, and now, you know, she has like maybe some what are they called, the not the Defenders, what was that damn team that got blown up? BBM, help me out. The team that started Civil War. New Warriors.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be one of those situations where Trish is going to have a reality show with her being a superhero. Jessica is going to see this and be like, hey, look, you got to stop this before you get yourself killed. They're going to have some kind of conflict. And then towards the end of the season, or like maybe like the last episode or last 2 episodes, Trish is almost going to wind up dying, and she's going to need Jessica to save her. And then at the end of it, she's going to, you know, realize why Jessica has been so under the radar for so long, and the two of them are going to wind up reconciling. What's going to happen with Malcolm, I have no idea, but I think that's going to be the arc for season 3 for Trish and Jessica.
You know who would be a good cameo for that situation? The Punisher.
You just want the Punisher to be in there.
No, I could see Trish doing some fuck shit, and Jessica trying to not be involved, but Trish again is going to be in over her head, and Frank is going to have to come in and smack her upside the head and be like, "Look, bitch, this is what the deal is."
Oh,
I can see it happening. It probably won't happen, but I can see it happening.
Speaking of Malcolm, BBM, was Malcolm justified in going over to Jessica's opponent and going to work with Chang after all that?
No, I wouldn't even bother even to work with him. Like, when I first saw him from episode 1 and on, I was like, okay, maybe he's a smart enough as a PI, but throughout the whole entire series, he was so dumb. Like, he could not see the bigger picture at all. Even when he went to Hogarth, he was like, what's wrong with you? And like, she's like, I'll just deal with you in the morning. I was like, whatever's wrong with you, whatever, just deal with it. And hopefully we get back to it. I'm like, dude, even if I was like sitting there, I would notice like how she's dying. Like, why is she with like freaking a bunch of prostitutes? It's all a bunch of drugs and stuff. But like, no, if anything, he could have set up his own private business, or at least again, just simply just work with Hogarth or whatever. But him working with Chang, no, that was like the most dumbest thing. He set himself back from just doing that. But just at least getting along and doing something else with being a PI, I'm okay with.
What about nice? What about you, AK? Do you think he was justified in going and working with Chang?
I think he probably saw that as a last resort, so he had to go in. But I think he could have branched out on his own, or I don't know, maybe go back to school. I mean, you're living in that apartment, and I can't see Jessica paying you a whole lot, so you're getting money from somewhere.
Well, he got that fat check from Jerry when he did that job for her.
Well, yeah, but even before that, Jessica wasn't paying him enough, I'm sure, for him to live on. But I don't know. Who knows whatever the logistics of his stuff is. But he basically is now like sleeping with the enemy. I mean, I get he has to get his foot in the door somehow, but you could get a recommendation from fucking Jerry Hogarth, dude. There's so many avenues that you could have explored instead of going to the guy who you were just going up against on your former team. It just maybe it'll help him gain whatever skills he thinks he needs to find there. But I think he could have went a different route. Him being with Chang is just not kosher.
No. Yeah, that's absolutely going over to the enemy side. That's no good at all. Don Willie, let's talk about the elephant in the room since we're just talking about Jerry Hogarth. One of the most gut-wrenching scenes in the entire season. What would you do if you came home and this bitch you thought was helping you out and this so-called healer you thought it just cured you, and you walk through your door and find all your most expensive things missing, and you find out they're completely just full of shit? So not only did they just rob you, but they robbed you of life because he was a fraud. You're not really healed. You're back to Diane. What would you do to this couple, Don Willie?
I would do exactly what she did. She did a masterful setup, where she found out the dirt that she needed to find out on the guy. The chick is up there doing all kinds of extra crazy shit and getting locked up for this dude while he's writing letters to, some next chicks and having them on the side. So, hey, look, you know what? She did it right. She got her to kill him, and then this chick is going down for murder. Yeah, brilliant setup, and that is exactly what should have happened. And Jerry Hogarth shows why she is a master manipulator.
AK, can we get what happens when you walk through that door?
The exact same motherfucking thing. I couldn't have done it better. You deal with these two people, and I think Jerry was in her feelings a little bit about it, not just with the healing point, but I think she did see little something going somewhere with I don't even remember the bitch's name. Damn, what the hell was her name? You know what? It don't even matter. Her
name was Ines. Ines.
Okay, Ines. I think something could have actually happened there. She was cool being her little sugar mama. She was feeling her. And then you do this fuck shit to me? Bitch, do you know who I am? No, you don't let motherfuckers get away with that. And for real, for as much shit as I give him, this was some Littlefinger shit. When shit comes together, it's like Hannibal. I love it when a plan comes together. This was some straight up diabolical Littlefinger shit, and I couldn't have done it better. She got one to take out the other, and because of that action, now Inez is going down. So she killed two birds with one stone, and she didn't even have to get her hands dirty to do it. Fucking brilliant.
Jerry Hogarth, one of the best in the Marvel game. That's why
she is not in the position in life that she is for no damn reason. This is why she now has her own law firm, and basically her two ex-partners are foot the bill for that shit. And even now, if she still wanted to go after them two little jerky assholes, she could. So they know if ever they have to go up against her on anything in the future, they're gonna bow out. They're not gonna do it because she could ruin them like that. She already halfway did just by taking Rand and her clients from their business. Like she said, they might bounce back someday, maybe. We don't know.
Shout out to Jerry Hogarth about that Mockingbird live.
Yes. Jerry is about that life. She is about that. Damn it, she could be my sugar mama any damn time.
Absolutely. Yeah, she is definitely the best in the game. I love how Trish, when she was all worried about Jess being in jail and she was just all freaking out right up until the fact that her mom told her that the cable news called, and then how fast she was to just be like, oh, I'm taking a shower and like ready to just oh, who cares what Jess is happening to Jess? And then you turn that in, and like the fact that how far she went, and she smacked Malcolm on the back of the head and dumped him in a trunk and shooting bullets at him when she wanted to get her way. It's like, is Trish past redemption, or is she really just as? Because I know Dom thinks they're going to reconcile, but is she past reconciliation? I mean,
hey, hold on. Did we get BBM's input on the last question?
No, that would just be a repeat though. But I'll go on to this question though.
Yeah. I usually ask two. If you haven't noticed, I've been asking two of you questions and kind of shooting to somebody else on another one, just so it doesn't get monotonous. But
But yeah, on this one, like I don't see any redemption. There ain't no Jamie redemption for Trish at all. Like
ain't no Jamie redemption either.
Yeah, that's another conversation, another conversation for a different stream. But like from this whole season, like it's like what was brought up earlier between her and Tony Stark. She's on steroids with this narcissism. She only cares about herself. Like with her mother trying to either get her to like the damn proposal freaking like engagement thing. Like she was like, oh, hurry up, we gotta meet with a boyfriend. But no, she couldn't even say that. She's like, oh wait, you got a job, you got an interview, get ready. And she's like, okay, let's go. And then the moment the dude about to like freaking propose to her, she answers with okay, I believe what it was. And then everyone was like always happy. I'm like, isn't it supposed to be yes, I'll freaking marry you, not okay? Like that would have been like red signs all over. God damn, but still, even when she actually even did get the damn interview, didn't even happen because she ran out of the damn drugs. So I really don't even see any redemption. Even after, like, if anything, she'll just like eventually Jessica will eventually like forgive Trish, but still, she's gonna do something fucked up now that she actually has abilities. No, because even ever since like what season 1, didn't she like try to like coach just to even like start the superhero thing, show herself out to the world? So she's basically did that to herself, and it might be a little bit successful because who was she? She was freaking what is it?
Patsy.
Popular Patsy. There we go. God damn it, that's the name. So it's gonna be on steroids, and it's gonna be Patsy the superhero now. That's what it's gonna be until we actually get her being called Hellcat or whatever. How Netflix is gonna spin it off to.
Yes, yeah, I think so. It's never. I think Jess is gonna forgive her at some point in time, or they'll at least be kosher. But it's never gonna quite be the same. And it shouldn't be. Damn it, you killed my mom. Come on, bruh.
Well, yeah, that's you just can't get past.
You can't do that.
I remember Jessica told Trish, she's like, you took down IGH with a cell phone and a patsy wig. It's like, how much more of a badass do you need to be? And Trish is like, you know the answer to that. What is the answer to that? What is she talking about right there?
The answer is, I want to be a famous Marvel superhero.
I want to be the next Black Widow / Tony Stark / Captain America / any other superhero name insert here. That's what she wants to be, and she wants to be in the spotlight doing it. It's not enough that she has powers. She has those powers. Now she's going to not just want to go and help people like she says. No, she wants to go and help herself. She's selfish as fuck. And that's always going to shine through more than anything.
To the point that when she even did like her radio show, I think the highest her ratings ever been is when I dealt with superheroes. To the point that it's like, hell, she ain't getting her sister on. So you know what? If I became a superhero, then I'll be, famous as hell. So now that she'll become a superhero, it's only a matter of time.
Just starving for that attention. She just cannot get over it. And I don't think she's ever going to get over it.
Nope, I don't think she will either.
What do you guys think about when Jessica got arrested and they were like, they told her that she was going to have to tell them everything she knew or she was going to get 18 months for not doing it and it would be obstruction of justice. I was like, I call bullshit on that. Do you think she really needed to tell the cops everything she knew? I thought that was kind of a soft part in the plot line. I was like, why does Jessica have to tell these cops everything? It's ridiculous. Isn't it their job to find out?
Well, you know what? As someone who actually does work in law enforcement, listen, that's just how the gov plays. That is how the government plays. Unless you give them what they want, they will make your life a living hell. Pretty much. It's like, hey, we have the guidelines, we have the law on our side, so if we tell you that this is what it is, this is what it is.
Here's the thing with that, though. That shit backfires real quick when you try to play your hand and strong arm the wrong people. And that shit backfired for that what was it, Casto or whatever his name is, his partner. That shit backfired real quick for her, because from the beginning with their duo team, she was the real gung-ho, you know, quote unquote bad cop hard ass. And when it came down to that, her few final moments, you actually had a gun on this woman, and you know the shit that she can do. You've seen it, and you thought just a little gun and some handcuffs, put your hands behind your back, you thought that was gonna stop her getting away. You really thought you had that situation under control. And what happened? You ended up splattered on the top, on the rooftops. It was sad, and I do feel bad that happened to her, but come on now. What outcome did you really think was going to happen? You thought she was just going to actually sit there and give up? She was already on the run. What did she have to lose? Nothing.
I knew she was going to die. The window was open. And you know your moms.
Exactly. A powered person can survive that fall. Even with a couple gunshots in her, she could have survived that fall, but you weren't. So why would you put yourself that close to her? Why would you put yourself in harm's way because you're so gung-ho about the law and this criminal needs to go down? Yeah, she does, but you're not the one that should have been going and doing that. You played your hand a little bit too hard and too fast, and it backfired on you. What up, STG?
Oh, feel it. How big were Inez's balls when she's walking down the street with Malcolm's TV in her arms talking shit the whole time? Like, yeah, screw you, and then has the nerve to smash it at his feet. I mean, would she have been done right there? Or how would you have dealt with that, Willie?
Yeah, see, here's the thing. Malcolm was under the impression that she actually had valuable information, and that was the only thing keeping him from saying, all right, deuces. Had it been me, yeah, you know, I might have been pulling her back to the crib caveman style by her hair, smash my goddamn TV like after you stole my shit. Like, fuck is wrong with you?
Right?
You know, so I mean, like, I understand, you know, Malcolm's actions there, but yeah, mine probably would have been a little bit more aggressive, getting her back to the apartment, and then after that, it might have been like, all right, you know what, we're gonna do this misery style, except without, you know, breaking your legs. All right, you need something to eat? Here's some scrambled eggs. I'll feed you. You know, here's some water. You know, here's a straw you can drink. But yeah, you're not doing this dumb shit to me again, stealing my goddamn TV, and you still owe me. All right, so after this whole shit is over, I want reimbursement. You know what? In fact, you buy me a new damn TV, better resolution, all that shit, and a fucking 4K Blu-ray player, just because you know, I'm feeling like that.
Son.
What do you do, AK? This girl is walking down talking shit to you with your TV under her arms, talking shit the whole way, and then at the end, they're like, screw you, and smashes it at your feet. How do you handle that?
First of all, I'm not Malcolm. So I wouldn't have been, I think I would have had a little more foresight in having that chick in my house around my things, knowing that anyone that is that low will do whatever they think they can get away with. So that I don't think that situation would have happened in the first place. But if it did, that TV is getting yanked out of her hands, and it looked like a lightweight enough TV. I mean, she was walking pretty briskly with it, so that thing would have been under one arm, and she would have been grabbed by the hair, and we would have had to do it caveman style, and she would have been back in the apartment. And it's New York. So ain't nobody really gonna pay too much attention to me manhandling this chick, especially if they seen us arguing. I'm like, oh well, no, she got herself in some shit. Now she gotta deal with it. That's basically what would have happened. My TV would not have been smashed. No, and if it would have been, her damn head might have been smashed in. Because no, you ain't gonna fuck up my expensive shit. Come on, bruh. Things are expensive nowadays. I don't have money to burn like that. That's a wrap. Go ahead, BBM.
if someone either had my TV, my laptop, P4, I don't care. If we're gonna have a conversation, me getting it back, I'm like, before anything, let's be civilized adults. Let me get my property back, and then we have our conversation. Like, you were still talking to her, like walking with the damn TV. I'm like, dude, are you not gonna get your TV back first or anything? Because for she could just drop it. And what happened? She dropped it. I'm like, really? Just really? But good, like how that scene was going on. It was like in New York City, and they're just having a conversation. Her just walking the damn TV. Everyone around them is all casual and natural. It was like, okay, this is actually surreal. So if it was happening in New York and people were just like having an issue with whoever in the street, they would probably just look and continue on their way.
Exactly why she would have got manhandled. Exactly.
I was beside myself that whole part. I was like, you got to be kidding me with this. She's just going to be talking smack with your TV under her arm. I was like, you were just trying to save this woman.
This is why Malcolm was so easily played by Trish. I mean, that, and he was thinking with his dick, but also he's so malleable. You could just squeeze him. He's clay and shape him, and you say the right words and he'll do whatever. Like, bruh, I need you to take some lessons from Jessica and not from these other tricks out here, because they're not doing anything good with the type of person that you are. I need you to grow some balls quickly.
And then speaking of, it's like when he goes and does take her to Jerry after that, and then he's like, watch your TV, which he had every right to say after all that bullshit. And she's got the nerve to turn around and be like, you are the worst kind of person. After what we know, the shit she pulled later, taking all Jerry's shit and robbing her and getting her hopes up, thinking she's carrying her, and she's got the balls after all that to say that he's the worst kind of person. I'm like, is she like the biggest scum in this show or what?
Nah, she ain't worse than Trish, but she's still a bitch. That's for sure.
I was so pissed when I heard from Jess's mom's boyfriend that when Jess was like, oh, we got this person who could heal people, he was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about, a person who could heal people? I was like, damn, just damn. So you telling me Hogarth isn't freaking healed now? I had so much hopes.
Ruthless.
Like, that's so fucked. How dare you? How
changed your whole outlook on life.
Oh my God. Right. Like she had a little pep back in her step. She was getting back in her game. Like, oh my God. And then to just have that big hurt. And then you get home and you don't want to, she didn't want to believe Jessica. I think she probably would have checked the shit out anyway, but she didn't want to believe Jessica. And then she get home and your shit is just cleared out.
Well, yeah. Why would you ever want to believe anybody? You want to believe that you're healed. All you want to believe is that you're healed. And
just set up just such a setup, and that's why I'm not mad at the way she handled that shit. She did it so perfectly.
Oh, she is just ruthless. Yeah, that one got me. That was definitely the biggest one. Like, oh, you are just not a good person. That's as sick as it
you
gets.
deserve everything she gives to you now tenfold.
She made it look like she was turning her life around. She wanted to start doing good for people. She wanted to start helping people out. And nope, that's all gone now. She got played. It's like, oh, that's rough.
She went back to being that shark that she was. And you know what? Sometimes that's what you got to be.
You get it done. Do you think Griffin was over the top with that proposal to Trish? I mean, it kind of put her on the spot. Do you think that was like romantic, or do you think that was he was out of line, kind of getting all her family there and putting her on the spot like that?
There wasn't nothing romantic about it. He said it himself. I wanted to put you under pressure so you didn't say no.
There you go.
Come on. I mean, I don't even remember him
saying that part.
You can't put someone in a situation like that. And he knows the type of person that Trish is. That was not the platform for you to ask this woman to be your wife. That's just that. I don't know why he thought that would work. And he was worried about it from Jump Street. He was like, that's supposed to mean yes, right? He already knew where it was going.
Yeah, that was messed up from start to finish. There was
no romance there. That was selfish of him too.
What do you think about that, Willie? Do you think he was just way off key with that, or was that just a man trying to be romantic?
Nah, he got what he deserved. Yeah, he got what he deserved with that one.
Yeah. Did you guys notice, like, BBM, did you notice when Trish and Malcolm went to go find the doctor, like, right when they actually saw him, how, like, the lights kind of went purple right there, and Malcolm just turned to Trish and it's like, don't be crazy. It's like, did you kind of know, like, okay, we're about to get some Kilgrave action somewhere in here close?
Exactly. Like, every time we see any type of purple light, even when it was, like, what, in Jessica's dream, she was, like, dreaming, we saw, like, a flash. I was like, okay, so... And then when you even saw the trailer, you see, you know, her turn around, then you see, you know, purple light and, you know, Kilgrave clap, and I was like, okay, are they just gonna somehow just bring him back to life? Is she gonna like turn a situation where, you know, Batman Arkham Knight situation with the Joker? But, you know, I knew it was gonna basically happen. Even like months ago, like before even premiere, even the trailer, they keep on saying, oh, we got David Tennant on set. Say like, oh, he was just visiting. I'm like, this is David Tennant. You can't just have him like freaking visiting a set or anything and not do anything. So I was expecting some Kilgrave in some shape or form.
Absolutely. What do you think, Willie, about the Kilgrave situation? I think he's one of the greatest villains in Marvel, like,
lore, for Netflix, period. He was
he's just amazing.
I mean,
Daredevil's Kingpin, but
listen, he would have been great for any iteration of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm talking, you know, Netflix, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even the movies, because imagine him in Avengers as a villain. Like, if you've ever seen the cartoon for Earth's Mightiest Heroes, when the Purple Man took over, that was kind of crazy. So I can imagine him even messing with the Avengers minds too. So I'm glad that we got to see some iteration of him, and the fact that there's still residual effects on Jessica even after, you know, he's been dead for like a year or more. You know, I loved the fact that they brought him back in. But it was crazy because at first I was like, is that actually David Tennant? Because like for the first few scenes, they didn't show his face. So I was like, is that actually him or not? And then when they showed him, I was like, yes.
Oh, there's no doubt. That was his voice for 100%. That was his voice, because that was just ridiculous with it. It got purple. He started, I mean, yeah, the way they led up to it, like you say, the clapping, the way things just got purple in his mind, always hearing the voice, and then boom, we finally got him. I was like, I thought the way they brought him back this season was absolutely phenomenal. I don't think they could have done that any better. I think it was perfect. It was the perfect amount of time, gave him the perfect amount of screen time part of the season, and yeah, they did everything right with Kilgrave. Because can
you imagine Kilgrave actually being in the Avengers and like getting next to Loki? Like that would fuck some shit up. If he could get into Loki's head, and Loki's a pretty decent anti-hero. But if he was under Kilgrave's control, imagine the crazy shit that he would have people doing. The Doctor is stand-up, whether he's a hero or a villain. I love that guy.
It would have been worse than how Scarlet Witch, you know, how she manipulated the Hulk and manipulating other like Avengers and
so much worse.
It would have been 10 times worse.
So much worse.
Oh yeah. When Jess and Trish were on the roof, and Jess says everybody around her dies, and Trish says, "Nope, not me. I'm going to live forever." Is that pretty much just a clincher that she's going to become Hellcat no matter what?
Yeah, I think she was on her way to Hellcat anyways. It was just what route was she going to take? What were they going to take to get her there?
How great was that when Carl was talking to her and it's like, Jessica, you know, talk to her, it might calm her down. And Jessica's like, just so you know, I rarely have that effect on people. I was like,
I thought that was a great line.
Even when she's just pissed, she's still just coming up with
Jessica is like the realest person in the MCU. For real.
Right?
She gives no fucks, and she will tell it like it is every time.
Oh, how ruthless was that when Trish gave Malcolm that inhaler? It's like, oh, this will heal you. It's not addictive. And it's like the most addictive shit ever. I was like, what
Again, why Trish
even
that
give that
fuck shit?
No.
Like you know, this boy is trying to stay on the straight and narrow, and he recognized it off rip as soon as it hit his system. He was like, nah, nope, bitch, nah, you stay the fuck away from me. I'm done with you. You should have been done with her from the beginning, but you know, again, he was thinking with his dick.
I was happy he didn't went back to drugs and stuff, because at one point it's like how Trish, she went back, not went back into drugs, but she was like literally addicted to that freaking spray, to the point that I was like, wait a minute, don't have us have Malcolm or Burr back. So even like he went to go visit his ex back at what is it, her university, when she was at her master's. I was like, oh, don't do it. But luckily, the moment he actually inhaled it, he was like, wait, what's going on with me? What's going on with me? Then he started like running. So
yeah, he dropped that shit right away. He was like, nope.
Oh, real quick. How ruthless was that when Trish came back to his door and she's like, well, we're still friends, aren't we? And she's just like, slammed the door right in her face. Like, oh, hell no.
I appreciated the hell out of that scene. I'm glad that's the way it went down.
Did you think it was going to last?
I didn't think it was going to last. I mean, how could it? How could it? She was manipulating him, saying, I mean, and it was like, yeah, all right. She was hyped up on whatever that shit was called. And I'm pretty sure, she was riding him like a stagecoach. But it was like, hey, you know what? There's only so much you can do in the bedroom before you have to get your head clear. And I'm pretty sure, him catching that gun to the back of the head and being dumped in the trunk, that'll do
that shit right out.
That'll do it. No, that was just.
I bet you try to give me drugs and then you lock me in your trunk. Fuck you.
Yeah, after all that, took you back in, and then you're gonna hit me in the back of the head and drop me in. It's like, and then shoot at me. It's like, oh, I won't shoot you, but I'm not gonna let you stop me, and then shoot a bullet that could have ricocheted on it. Oh, hell no! That's game over. I mean, you got to draw a line somewhere, and that you got to know when to say when, and that was it.
That also, speaking of which, with that damn scene, how fucked was the damn doctor in the end? Like, I thought you were actually trying to be on the straight and narrow, but the minute you got somebody that wanted to do this damn experiment, you couldn't drop that shit. I understand she had you at gunpoint. You still could have fucking said no.
And my point, if you put somebody at gunpoint, you're really going to let that person, you just took somebody, kidnapped them at gunpoint, and you're going to let them operate on you? Just put down the gun and just let them start sticking you and injecting you with stuff? Come on, that's
like any other person, I think, in the situation would have just knocked her out and fucking left. But him, being who he is, he had to see the experiment through. He had to make sure his work could actually get to what he was aiming for. That thing, in the end, that's what was the most important to him, because it didn't have to end for him the way it did.
Would you consider Dr. Karl Morris a villain, or was he just more of a mad scientist?
Definitely mad scientist. Borderline villain for the shit he was. I mean, all the shit they were doing was illegal, but definitely mad scientist.
I mean, he's operating on people without their consent. What do you think, Willie?
Sorry, it took me a minute to unmute. Yeah, definitely mad scientist. He was obsessed with his work and, the possible accolades, because he was thinking about, okay, if I can make a stable superhuman, imagine what that will do for my reputation. That was his whole thing, was trying to make some sort of stable superhuman, because remember, everything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, when it comes to people doing experiments, is basically trying to recreate Captain America. So anytime you see that there is a doctor who is experimenting on someone and it gives them superhuman powers, just think back to Captain America, and this person, whoever they are, is trying to be the next Abraham Erskine.
Yeah, and they can't. There's not been another thinker on Erskine's level to make this shit work. So we get all of the Alissas and Jessica Joneses and Simpsons. That's what happens with that shit. And we get Bucky. That's how the fuck we got the Winter Soldier too, trying to replicate Captain America.
Isn't with Abomination from Incredible Hulk? Wasn't that like they wanted to make the next?
That was also the same thing. Yeah, that's also how we got the Incredible Hulk and Abomination.
anything good when we actually get freaking Hellcat at all. It's probably gonna be some serious side effects, almost similar to the mother.
Oh yeah, especially she's getting power from the devil. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be a positive situation. Who was the BBM? Who was the biggest villain this season? Was it Jessica's mom or was it Trish or somebody else?
Nah, for this season it had to be Trish.
Yeah, Trish beat her mom out this season.
Every single person there, she was close with.
Even down to trying to get like a better hospital room with like a waterfront view or that other bullshit. And I mean, getting drinks at the bar. I'm Trisha's mom. I'm VIP. Like, bitch, you still using this girl's name for real?
Still dining out on that ticket. Yep.
Good Lord. Come on. What the fuck do you do with yourself every day?
But that's not surprising because it sounds like she's been like that from jump. I mean, she's never not been.
That's how she's always wanted it. She's been using Trish to get money and get the lifestyle that she wants. And she's gonna do that. You know, the way Trish is now, she's gonna definitely get in her head and spin that shit to be the freaking booster goal of the MCU right now.
And she's gonna do her best. Don Willie, do you think Jess's mom's prison guard, was he a villain or was he just a guy doing his job, trying to get control of basically a inmate? You know, he knows this inmate has superpowers. He's trying to show that he has the upper hand, that he's in charge. Was he really a villain or was he just kind of doing his job?
No, he was definitely a villain. Yeah, no question.
He's like quick, like no question.
Yeah, no question.
I'm sorry, who were you talking about? Who did you ask about?
We're talking about the guard that was shocking Jessica's mom, that came in there and made her eat the day-old meat.
Oh, the serial killer? Yeah. He was already killing people, man. He would have done his damnedest to kill Alyssa. He got what was coming to him.
But before we know that, before we found all that and Jessica found that out, when you're just looking at it and you know he's got to try to, you know, maintain some kind of form of control, it's like, I mean, he's got to do that to some point to show that he's in charge, not her. You don't
like
think
that.
He's just all around bad?
I think that first time where they had that altercation, she only did that because he started being a cocky dickhead. I don't think she would have had that reaction to him if he wouldn't have started being an asshole like he was. I mean, he did all that whole thing about, you know, you have to eat this and blah, blah, blah. And then he pulled the damn taser out on her for really no reason. She said, I don't eat meat. I'm cool. Just leave. And she tried to dial it back before she even did anything after he pulled the weapon. Just leave me alone, please. I'm good. And he still made a big deal about it. I don't think it was anything about the food. He just wanted to be an asshole. He wanted to have power over someone, and that's what he did.
Exactly. He wanted to show that he was in charge. He didn't care how much her powers she had. He wanted to be in charge, and he was trying to show her that. And
yep. Hey, LT.
That's water. Sooner or later, he was going to blow up. That was going to not work out. That was going to be a problem sooner or later, regardless. Jess and Trish were talking just fine when they came back and started figuring things out until Trish asked, what about Carl? What's Jess going to do about Carl? And then all of a sudden Jess freaked out and kicked her out, saying she's not the best person for an addict to be around right now. What do you think the sudden change was? Why do you think she kicked her out and freaked out like that? You know what I'm talking about, when they came back and they were talking, and then Jess was like, you just got to go. I'm not the best person. But she didn't really, they were talking just fine until she's like, well, Carl's still out there. What are you going to do about Carl? Because I kind of think it's like she was just feeling bad about turning her mom in. So now she didn't want to turn Carl in because she's, you know, second guessing all this, wondering if she did the right thing.
I don't know.
It's a tough.
Yeah, actually stumped on that one. Where you guys think?
But she couldn't like bring in Carl, because if she bring in Carl, the mom was gonna come after him. Period. And then the mom was even gonna like go away or anything unless, you know, Carl was saved. That was like the whole thing with her, right? If Carl was saved, she'll be all right. But if they either kidnapped him or even kill him, it's over.
Right. Then she wouldn't sign the confessions or anything.
Yeah, she was gonna go to lock. That's why I keep saying it didn't have to end. Like, she was gonna go down, and then she heard that damn news story. And why did we have that news story? Because of fucking Trish.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't you just want to jump through the TV though when that officer like picked up that day old meat off the floor and made her? She's like, "I'm a vegetarian." He's like, "Nope, you're eating this meat." It's like, I just want to put my foot through the TV at that point.
Right then is where you knew that dude was on that fuck shit.
Yeah,
that's when you know, like, okay, yeah, you need to go sit down, young man.
And that's why I'm like, with all that going in, it's like, do you really think it was an accident when Jessica did it? Or did she realize what a douche this guy was? And there's a chance that he might kill her mom before she gets a chance to figure it all out. And she wasn't going to take that chance. So he sprayed me with pepper spray. He's got me on the ground. I could just kind of flip him off. I'm super powered, but let me just put a little extra something into this baton hit and just basically end it right here and there.
It was an accident. Throughout the whole entire season, she was like, "I'm not a murderer. I'm not a murderer." Even when Jane's friend died, she kept saying, "I'm not a murderer. I'm not a murderer." Then, when it actually did happen, when she actually killed him, it was like really an accident. But then Kilgrave come out of nowhere and was like, "Yeah, was it an accident?" But she knew it was. If not, Kilgrave probably would have never left, and he probably would have had a great old time.
Yeah, that's what it was. I don't think she meant to do that at all. To put him down and to get away, yes, but she was gonna do it like the legit way and just have him get caught for the shit that he's been doing. I don't think she meant to actually kill him.
She's super powered and she's had the strength for a while, and I mean she knows what's up. I mean, she grabbed that thing, she put a little something on it. Like she stuck that side handle right through his ear hole. That wasn't like a hit, get off me. That was like, motherfucker, you're evil. Take this. That's what I kind of got out of it. So I don't know. It's like she's had those powers and she's that strong. She's blind and pepper sprayed, but she still could have just twitched and tossed him off her back. She didn't do that. She grabbed that thing and put it right through his ear hole. That just seems like a little something on it to me.
Could be, but I mean, listen, the guy deserved it either way.
No question.
That's what I was about to say. Either way, he still got what was coming to him.
But it's just so much harder on her because she hates killing, and now she's got this whole Kilgrave situation going on. It's just, was that this whole build up to Kilgrave, and then you finally just see her suicide. I was like, oh shit, it's on now. That's when I got stoked. I love Kilgrave. He is truly one of my favorite villains.
He is, and I mean it's comic books. Honestly, they could spin some shit to where he comes back, right? And I wouldn't be mad if they did.
Fucking speaking of comic books, how smooth was it when Jessica and her mom were like trying to talk code over the phone? I was like, you couldn't be more obvious. It's like you just trying to get your daughter caught up. Like, this is ridiculous. You're the most unsmooth fucking villain. Yeah, that was dumb, I thought.
Yeah, they handled it pretty well when she was locked up. Like, that's how she knew how to go find the doctor. So yeah, they got it together eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I understand you got to dumb it down for the audience to some degree, but that was just like, oh, you're always so messy cleaning up as a kid. I know how to clean. It's like, wait a minute. Did you go out on that date with that guy? Did you kill that guy last night for me? I don't know. It just seemed off to me. You think there's any chance whatsoever that Dr. Carl faked his own death? That he just made that big explosion and he's still alive?
I don't see how. He couldn't have gotten far enough away to do that. I don't think. Plus, they found his body, didn't they?
What's that?
Didn't they find his body? Like, they were able to ID him. So I would assume
they find his body in it. I thought they would. It was just like his old spot. But yeah, if they found his body,
it was his old spot. But I'm pretty sure because they confirmed him dead. They didn't say like it was owned by the building was owned by him. They confirmed him dead. So I would assume they did some DNA testing,
right, and
figured out what was his.
They're not just gonna take. Yeah, he can't fake a body with that one. That's true. We're gonna. Yeah, we've been on Jessica Jones for a minute. I don't know. That's my favorite Netflix. I really love that shit.
That was a good season. It was a good season.
Yeah, that blew me away with all that shit. Like I said, the Jerry Hogarth, when she came back through that door and found all her shit, I was just like, oh, that's you didn't get that in Iron Fist is all I'm saying.
Everybody had really good character development and character arcs. Even Trish, and I very much dislike her now, but the growth in her character and the moves she made, it was good to watch.
What are we looking forward to the most for the second season of Luke Cage? Don Willie, what are you looking forward to most with Luke Cage in season 2?
I want to see what villains they're going to use. I mean, obviously, Mariah and Shades are going to be a big part of it, but I don't think they're going to stick to those two as the villain. I want to see what other hip hop references they're going to use, because I mean, like season 1,
the whole soundtrack.
Yeah, season 1, every song was named after a Gangstar song, and there were a lot of little references, like the whole thing with lemonade is a popular drink and it still is, and Method Man being in there. So I mean awesome. that was kind of cool, but I want to see how they're gonna move forward. They've already hinted at the Heroes for Hire thing, so it's gonna be a little crazy to see Iron Fist in Harlem. So I want to see how that's supposed. I mean, because this is fictional Harlem, where it's still mostly black people, as opposed to real Harlem, which it ain't that anymore. But I want to see who's going to be the villain or how things are going to change now that Mariah and Shades are in charge. And more coffee.
More coffee. Christmas. Sweet Christmas. BBM, how do they save Defenders season 2? How do we bring that back around and save that season? How do we save that mark?
I don't think they're even doing a Defenders 2. Like, I remember reading an article. I think, who was it? Is it the same people who made Jessica Jones, like the same people who did, or who directed it or so, did Defenders or something like that? But either way, they were talking about, like, they may not even do Defenders. Like, they're continuing on doing more seasons of Daredevil, Jessica Jones, The Punisher, Iron Fist, but they may not even do. That's what they're thinking, that they're not even going to do it. Probably because of the ratings.
As bad as the first one was, I could see it. AK, when do you think that they bring it back around and hook up Jessica Jones and Luke Cage?
If they start that, I think it would have to start with Luke Cage, because like their beginning was on Jessica's show, so I think the next step of their relationship is going to be during his series. Like I love Rosario Dawson, and I really like the Night Nurse character and how they've been playing her, but that's not like Luke's endgame, so I need them to get that together. I could see him working on some case that brings him back to what side is it that Jessica actually lives on? She's closer to Hell's Kitchen, isn't she? With Matt and Froggy. So I could see some stuff going down in Harlem and then trickling into Hell's Kitchen, and that's where Jessica comes in, because it starts basically stepping on her territory, and they link back up through a case or some sorts. I don't know how they would end Night Nurse and Luke, though. That's the only thing.
I think there's only one way for them to end Night Nurse and Luke. And
don't say she dies. No, we can't kill off the Night Nurse. She's the Night Nurse. She's needed. Somebody has to patch up everyone.
She wasn't going to be her entire season, though.
She didn't need to be in Jessica Jones.
I'm just saying,
just get Trish to even interview her. Next thing you know, she's gonna die.
Look, like there have been 3 people who have kind of been the connective tissue to each season of these series. You got the Night Nurse, you got Jerry Garth, and then there's
the arms dealer,
right? And she was the only one that wasn't in this season at all.
That's because she's hanging out in Harlem still.
Yeah, getting so much.
She's not working at hospitals anymore, so there wasn't any need for her to be in this season. Screw that. No, Night Nurse is not dying. You shut your filthy mouth.
I'm saying she hasn't been away from Harlem because she's been too busy getting coffee.
I mean, a girl has needs. So she got to go get what she got to get.
if we're gonna be talking about people dying, let's just get into it. We got the big one coming here, April 27th. Who do we think is not gonna make it through the first Infinity Wars as far as Avengers goes?
Cap is number one on the list.
We're gonna start with AK and go to Don and then hit BBM. So who's gonna die?
It's probably gonna be a few people. Number one on my list, like I said, is Cap. I mean, Chris Evans, I'm pretty sure his contract is done, and I don't believe we've heard anything about him re-signing. And I know he wants to just go off and do like low-level projects. He's been wanting that for a little bit, actually. I'm amazed they've been able to keep him this long. So he's number one. I guess there's a chance that it could be Tony also, or he gets at least put in a coma or something. Because he's about due to go away also. Hawkeye is probably on everyone's radar because, you know, how much has Hawkeye really been doing in the grand scheme of things. I don't think they're going to get rid of Vision that quickly. I don't think Scarlet Witch is going to be done that quick, or Black Widow, especially since she has a movie coming up. I don't know. I'm putting it to Cap and Tony for the two. And anybody else after that is meh. But those would be the two big ones. Maybe I'm done with it when y'all done.
Well, since I'm unmuted, might as well, I guess. For me, Rhodes, we don't need the Iron Patriot at all. Like, when he's even in freaking Iron Man, you rarely even see him there anyway. So it's like, you know what? Just kill him off, you know? If anything, we do see him like in a trailer and all, in the suit, so I'm guessing he's able to walk again. So good, you're able to walk, but he might also just kill you off. Hawkeye, at one point I'm like, is he? We don't even see him in no damn trailers. We don't even see him even on the damn poster.
He's not on the posters either.
Like, I can even make an excuse saying like Ant-Man's in the damn poster because he could just be, you know, on his ant side, just be chilling on someone's shoulder or a weapon or something. But it's like you don't see him at all. I don't know if they're planning to kill him or is he gonna be in like the after credit scene, you know, looking for someone. Like you don't even see him or even like freaking Nick Fury. So it's like, what's up with that? We haven't seen Nick Fury since what?
I mean, well, there's really no Shield anymore, so Fury's he's doing his Black Ops spot.
He was in Age of Ultron. He was in Age of Ultron
for like 2 seconds.
And it's 2 seconds in that farm, and then he was there near the end helping out with the Hellcarrier and stuff. Like he still could have been needed though. So if anything, I would rather see like Thanos snapping his fingers, and then, you know, when half the population of the Earth is killed off, have his wife and kid being killed off, and something like that crazy, make him like even like hyped up even more, make him even more useful. That I'll be happy for that. But Rose, you can kill him off. If they're gonna kill Hawkeye off.
No, Hawkeye's got 3 kids. Someone. He needs to just go home.
No, kill him off, and then. They can, if someone big, either Captain America, but even when, because everyone was like, yeah, I don't want to do Captain America anymore, they asked him to say, okay, at least do Avengers 4. But even then, it could just be like a flashback of him or something. But either him or they can be crazy and just kill off Peter Parker and then somehow just bring him back. That could be something devastating for like the way of the character of Iron Man. Just like, oh, I'm going to bring you in, you know, and try to induct you as an Avenger, then just having him die in front of his eyes. That could have been one thing. But even when you see like the Battle of Wakanda, what they're going to do, I don't think you even see like Iron Man in that image, you know, that like rush charging in. So I think if anything, Iron Man, it has to be like someone big and major to die. So it's either Spider-Man if they want to be crazy with it and just bring him back, or just kill off Iron Man, Tony Stark.
Oh wow! What about you, Willie? Who do you think they're going to kill off in this first one, or do you think they're going to kill anybody off in the first one?
I think we're going to get a couple of background deaths. I don't think we're going to get any of the frontline characters as of yet. So I think Tony. I think the core Avengers are safe. Anyone who was in Avengers 1 who was part of the team, I think is safe. I think Loki is done for. I think Heimdall is done for. Valkyrie might make it out because she became kind of a popular character because of the new
Thor
Thor
Ragnarok.
movie. Yeah. Um let's see here. Who else? Vision could possibly die because remember he does have an Infinity Stone embedded in his head. Uh so I think he could possibly go.
Do you think there's any way that they just take the stone away from Vision and he lives as a person, or do you think he's
gonna? I think Shuri's gonna find a remedy for that. I don't think he'll like be made human or anything, but I think she'll find a way for him to survive without the stone.
Yeah, because isn't he like made from vibranium when they when Ultron like got it, all that stuff, and was working with that scientist? So yeah, it should be perfect for that.
Right, but remember the stone is what's powering him. So they would have to find some alternate way of keeping him alive that doesn't require that stone.
Right, and didn't I see like something like it's merged with him, like in his head, like it's not like you can just pop out the stone, like it's sunk in and it's a part of like his DNA basically.
Right, so
that's not as easy as just popping out the stone. You have to, it's a part of him you'll be dismantling.
Right, so what I'm thinking is Vision is going to wind up getting that stone ripped out of his head, and he's a dead android. Man, I'm thinking possibly. Well, no, you know what? I don't think they're going to kill anybody from Black Panther because those characters are brand new and
the world will riot. But you cannot touch Black Panther. You cannot touch Okoye. You cannot touch Nakia. So
Shuri gonna die.
You can't. No, fuck you. No, my tag team, my number one tag team that I think is coming is Shuri and Spidey. You put them two kids in Shuri's lab, some great shit's gonna happen.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Man, who? Yeah, I'm thinking if there is an Avenger who dies, it's you know what? I do agree with BBM. I think that Rhodey could get it. I think Rhodey is possibly going to be wiped out along with Vision.
War Machine, you don't think he already took enough? You think he might get one more?
I think that he is going to go out in a blaze of glory. Because you know what's the funny thing? I was like, it would either be him or Falcon, but I think there's a possibility that they're going to gear up Falcon to be. I think there's a possibility they could gear up Falcon to take Captain America's place. So, yeah.
I was thinking the other way. I was thinking they could kill Falcon and they'd give Captain America's spot to Rhodey after the Winter Soldier dies, after he falls off.
Winter Soldier's the White Wolf now. He's got to play out a little bit of storyline in that title.
Right. So I mean, I don't.
Well, will he though? He might. They set him up for that, but is that going to happen for sure?
I mean,
we shall see.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could play a big part in Black Panther Part 2. And I mean, look, people like Bucky. Bucky, Winter Soldier is a cool character now. So, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking Vision and maybe Rhodey, but definitely Vision, definitely Loki, and definitely Heimdall.
Loki's like one of the number one villains, though. You really think they toss him out? Like he's Marvel's.
If they do kill him, it's gonna be a psych, like always. Like every time
you gotta think, man. I think he gets killed for real this time. They've already done 2 fake outs with the possible death of Loki. I don't think the people will stand for a third. And plus, if you remember, Loki's whole thing in Avengers, in the first Avengers, when he showed up, it was like, hey, if you don't bring back the stone or the Tesseract or whatever to Thanos, you already know you're in for a world of hurt. I think Loki is going to bring back the Tesseract and think, oh, hey, look, I brought you the Tesseract. We're good now, right? Oh, yeah, we're fine.
Right?
We're good.
Just snap them off. I can see that.
But in reality, he owes him like 2 Infinity Stones because he gave him like what the Mind Gem to begin with, and he lost it. So, yeah.
How badly do you think the destruction is going to be? Damn, where Nova Prime is, her world, when he goes for that power gem.
I don't even know if we're even going to see him even get it because it looks
The
like
Nova
how
Corps?
it starts off.
Yeah,
I think he's
that's
gonna
gonna be
go
a quick
first.
scene. I think he's gonna go in there, rock it, and just take it and be out. I don't even think that's gonna be a big scene. I think he's gonna go in there, break them all off, and then be out. Because they'd have been done in the first place if the Guardians weren't there to protect him. So if the Guardians aren't there, I think Thanos is just gonna walk in, take it, and be out. I don't think it's even gonna be a big thing. But
True.
who do we think? Who do we think has the Soul Gem? Where's the Soul Gem at?
That is the question of the year, man. I
Indeed.
thought it might have been in Wakanda somehow, but that didn't make sense once I really tried to get into the logistics of where that is. It didn't make sense for it to be in Wakanda. Wakanda doesn't need an Infinity Stone to be special.
You know,
right.
So I
but
don't
it could
know.
still be there to be safe because of how safe that place is.
but you know what's funny though? You know, I remember a lot of people saying that the Soul Gem was going to be in Wakanda, and I thought to myself, "Oh, you racist motherfuckers! The Soul Gem. Huh? What happened? You pick up the Soul Gem and start playing.
So is that just as bad as it being in Heimdall? Like, oh, you're gonna give the Soul Gem to the brother man.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
brother man got
the Soul. Yeah, we're gonna find out the Soul Gem has been in this sword the whole time, and when you bring it out, it goes Hitman.
That's that bullshit. Get on the good foot.
Oh man, nah.
They showed it that one time. He does have that little gem in his like chest plate or whatever. Heimdall does. So I mean, that could be it, and we just kind of played down. We don't know. And he is the cat that can see all souls throughout the universe. So I kind of think it's Heimdall that has it. His eyes are yellow. His shit is yellow. He can see every soul in the universe. It's like, what else?
And in that vision that Thor had, his eyes were blank. So maybe he got. I mean, it's a possibility, but I don't think it's within a person. That's something a lot of people have been saying, that it's not an actual gem, it's a person. I don't think that's it.
Could you imagine if he cracked open Heimdall and got the Soul Gem? Like, that would be crazy.
I'd be mad. That would be such a cop out. I feel like that would be a cop out. I don't think I'd like that.
I think it'd be sick. I think they set it up tight. Just because, like I said, I mean, he can see every soul throughout all 9 realms. What else do you need to know? He's got a yellow gem in the middle of his breastplate. It's not inside him; it's on him. It's like the same way Doctor Strange has that green gem on him. It's like it's on him.
But when those dark elves invaded Asgard in the second movie, he didn't see them.
So right, he couldn't see them. Exactly.
Yeah, well, they don't have souls, evil little bastards. The dark elves. They got no souls. Ain't no souls to see. Shit.
But like, if you haven't seen it,
that's why they
had to see all of them.
No, but that's why they had to wear all that heavy armor, because they couldn't
camouflage.
Had no soul.
Really? Stop trying to make that shit legit.
So where's it at, Willie? Where is the Soul Gem at?
I don't think it's on Earth. I mean, come on, you think about it. That would put way too many Infinity Stones on Earth. There's a vast universe out there,
and Earth is like little children to the rest of the universe. Yeah,
I'm like, you're telling me that there are 5 Infinity Stones, or at least 4 Infinity Stones on Earth?
On Earth, yeah. Well, no, because they took the Tesseract off of Earth.
Right, but think about it. Right, you had the Tesseract.
I have Agamotto.
The Mind Stone.
And the Mind Stone, yeah.
Right?
That's a lot for Earth, yeah.
The Ether.
Well, doesn't the Collector have
reality?
The Ether ended up on Earth too.
Yeah, well, you have the Power Stone and the Ether, which Collector have. But hold on. What are we missing? We got the Mind Stone, the Space Stone.
Time.
The Time Stone.
So
and the Power Stone.
The Time Stone, freaking Doctor Strange has the Time Stone.
I think Doctor Strange might be dead. I think he might be one and done. His movie's out, and they're gonna kill his. Did you see that in the trailer when he's got all the ice?
They got him. Yeah, Ebony Maw's got him hemmed up.
Oh, I think Doctor Strange is fucked off. He might be gone right out the gate. You didn't make enough money.
I think he's got at least one more solo movie in him. At least
one. But he looked pretty fucked off in the scene I saw. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, our heroes have been fucked up before, though. I mean, Cap was on ice for like 70 years and shit.
No, for real. Yeah. You think he crashed into the ice on purpose because he thought he might have had the best chance of surviving it?
No, I don't think he had. I don't think he had any thought of himself. He wanted to save everyone else.
It was dumb luck putting it down in the ice in Antarctica. He just happened to be there.
He just happened to be able to withstand the ice and be in a coma for 70 years and then wake up. I don't think he thought that was going to happen at all. He figured he would just be dead, but he would die for a noble cause.
I like that. Do you think Wakanda was right to keep themselves a secret for so long? How do we feel about that?
I mean, given the bullshit that's been happening all over the world, I mean, yeah, you know, and I don't know if you guys saw the commercial that Marvel just released today for Infinity War, but you know, they had Okoye saying, hey, you know, when you said that you were going to open up the promise of the world, I didn't think that this is what you meant. He was like, well, what did you think I was meant? It's like, you know, the Olympics, maybe a Starbucks.
No, I did not see that. I'm gonna have to look that up. I did not see that.
The chanting in that freaking clip was just amazing. Like,
yeah, that was you know, listen, with Black Panther now, I think it's the number 3. It eclipsed Titanic. So you know,
yeah, I've been watching that on Beyond the Trailer. Grace has been keeping up with that shit. Yeah, it's moving up the ranks slowly but surely.
Yeah, so you notice, like, if you guys check out the newest Avengers Infinity War trailer, it is Wakanda heavy. And I think they're gonna, you know, they're riding the wave. I mean, apparently Avengers like Infinity War, the numbers for that are looking ridiculous, and they're saying that it actually could beat The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Because like in 6 hours, like their pre-sale tickets sold more than Black Panther's. So that even tells
they're also spending more money than they've spent on any other show ever promoting it, which isn't going to hurt anything.
Yeah, Marvel planned it right. They moved up the time frame for the movie to come out specifically so they could write off Black Panther, and that's just good business. Yeah. I can't fault them for that. I am mad that they put it the same damn weekend of Ice and Firecon, and I have to wait until Monday to see it. But besides that, smart move.
The hell with that?
I'm gonna have to go out and DJ a wedding. I was like, right. I was like, are you kidding me? You had to come out that day? That day?
Nah, I'm going that Thursday night.
Same. I got like 9:30 tickets. I wish I can go at 7 o'clock, but I'm babysitting a demon child, so it's like I gotta go 9:30.
Oh, wait, have you already got your ticket? Shit.
Yeah.
You ain't got yours yet?
Sold out everywhere.
Man, I'm not going until Monday, and I already got my tickets.
Man, I'll go get my ticket tomorrow. I'll go right over to Sheepshead Bay and jump on a ticket real quick. Yeah. I took that.
You'll have to explain something to me. Explain how in Civil Wars, how T'Challa was already the Black Panther, but then the dad died. He was already had the suit, already had everything. He's already Black Panther, but then his dad died. So then he got elected to be Black Panther, but had to go back and fight somebody to become Black Panther.
I think that was his dad was still the king, but he was letting T'Challa take the Black Panther route. Now, to be the king and the Black Panther, you have to go through that ritual. So he couldn't do that until the old king died. I think that's how they spun it.
Okay. Yeah, they didn't explain a lot of that. I was like, he's already the Black Panther. Why is he got to try to go fight to be the Black? He's already got the suit. He already is. He
has to fight to be king. It wasn't really a challenge of who's going to be the Black Panther. It was who's going to be the king. That's why all the other leaders were able to challenge. Well, why M'Baku was the only one that challenged him. Nobody else wanted to give the challenge.
That's some old school shit to be like the most advanced high tech society on the planet, but yet still come back to some old bloodline rituals and
they're still in their culture.
That was some shit. I was like, okay, let's get it. But was Killmonger? Was he really a villain? I mean, he was a villain. He did some bad shit. He came in, he burned the herbs. He was a terrible king. But like in the first place, would you, if you were T'Challa, would you have even accepted the challenge from Killmonger? Don Willie, would you even have accepted that challenge?
I think he had no choice. I mean, once that ring was presented and everyone pretty much knew, like, the only way that you were getting that ring is you had to be, you know, part of the Panther line,
the royal family.
Yeah, like you had no choice. You know, otherwise, you know, he could have been called a coward. He could have had other people try to usurp the throne from him. And W'Kabi, you know, that was
that dude.
That was like my one big issue with the film was, you know, when they came back from trying to get Claw, you know, he's like, hey, look, sorry, he slipped through our fingers. And W'Kabi just automatically is like, oh man, fuck you, you're bullshit. You about that bullshit. I was like, dude, it's not like he didn't try. He tried, and this guy had help escaping. And
that's just it.
Like,
why did he just tell him?
He turned cloak real quick. He turned cloak real quick. Like, he didn't even ask no questions. You just saw a body. Like, bruh, you don't know who this motherfucker is. Really? Now look at the shit. Your country's in civil war now because of this fuck shit.
Why didn't T'Challa just come out and say, that's the motherfucker that broke him out? It's his fault that all this shit happened. I was already on my way. I already had him in custody. I was bringing him home. This motherfucker jumped us and took him.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with Killmonger, though. Do you really think Killmonger didn't tell him that? As cocky as Killmonger was, I'm pretty sure he would just came up front and said, this is what happened, but I knew I could get him, and I knew T'Challa couldn't.
Yeah, but T'Challa already had him, though. It wasn't even a thing of, okay, well,
But it wasn't going to kill him. He wasn't going to kill him.
I mean, well, he was saying he was going to bring him back. He was like, look, I'll bring him back, and he'll go on trial here in Wakanda. So that was the whole thing. So yeah, that was my like one thing that really stuck with me throughout the movie was like, really, you know, and I'm wondering what happened to W'Kabi after, because you notice after he surrendered, we didn't see him anymore.
I don't think he's still alive. I'd be very surprised if he was still alive. You committed high treason, bruh.
Yeah, but you got a wife in high places.
They ain't married.
He said
at least it didn't seem like they were together as a couple. Yeah, but I don't believe they were married.
I thought they were married. I could be wrong on that, but I thought they were married. But yeah, that's kind of.
But
crazy.
Even so, we know Okoye is for the crown, and you committed high treason, bro. That's a wrap.
He's like, game over. He's like, I ain't got nothing else to say to you. Did the Mountain Clan have vibranium weapons?
M'Baku? No. They don't believe in using vibranium like that.
Really?
Oh, I didn't caught on to that.
No, they're the M'Baku's people. They're the Jabari. They're not about using vibranium for anything. They're just badass fighters like that.
I thought it was that they just don't like technology. I thought that was the whole thing was like, all right. Yeah,
which is why they don't use the vibranium.
But not everything that was vibranium is necessarily all technological. You know, they use vibranium for just about everything. It's just that they were able to apply it to their technology. So I'm pretty sure the Jabari's weapons were probably vibranium. It's just that they didn't integrate it with any of the technological advances that their
weapons just weren't as good.
Yeah, I
They were
mean,
vibranium, but they were
I
also
have to go back and research that.
a spear is a spear, a sword is a sword, a knife is a knife.
No, if a spear is a spear, there's spears that just sit there like the old Halliburtons, and there's spears that shoot out motherfucking vibranium juice on motherfuckers and melt them. That is not a
Vibranium juice.
spear. That's some different ass shit right there.
But you know what I mean, though, man.
Oh shit, that is just crazy. Yeah, the vibranium since there is vibranium, does that automatically make Shuri the greatest inventor in the world? Like, does she top Stark over that because she's got the greatest substance to work with?
I think she does. I mean, she hasn't done as much as Tony Stark. I guess if you're looking at the amount of things that Tony has built around the world, but she's not been building for things around the world. She's only been building for Wakanda. But as far as like brain power goes, I think she can do a little bit more than he can.
Yeah,
I mean, the executive producer,
Tony,
Nate Morris,
and Bruce Banner in the same room, like she can rock it with them. Period.
And Spidey.
Something new.
I was just going to say, executive producer Nate Morris says that Shuri is the smartest character in the world, even more so than Tony Stark.
Than Tony,
so
yeah.
We agree with that even more than Bruce Banner, Tony. We're all on the same page. Like,
I
Shuri
do, yeah.
#1.
I definitely agree with that.
I see Willie shaking your head. You agree with that 100%?
Yo, you know what? Give Shuri Erskind's notes and all that shit. I bet you she could replicate Cat perfectly. Probably make him even better.
I mean, what the whole thing was, Erskine didn't keep notes; it was all in his head. So
true, but if he did, Shuri would be the one to unlock that shit.
I mean, but the way that the whole thing with Captain America, it really seems because remember they've been trying since the 1940s to replicate Captain America, even with a sample of his blood. They still haven't been able to replicate it, which means it was genetically tailored for Steve Rogers.
It boiled down to the person that Steve was. I think it is how they explained it in Captain America, because it makes good better and it makes evil worse.
Right, but I mean it's yeah, there is a psychological component to it. But I think, there might have been something where Erskine, because remember, he had the samples of everyone's blood who was part of that program. So it might have been a thing where there was certain tailoring to each person's genetics where you can't just go and replicate the formula. There was a certain
well, they said it had to do with the mentality, because that even, I mean, if you take it all the way into like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even what's his face, Coulson was talking to a girl, the general lady, about that, her daughter being the world breaker or whatever, and he was saying Steve Rogers was hand selected because of his mentality and who he was. And she was like, I don't think a man needs to have this power. I think it's a woman that needs to have it. Everybody who's watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you don't know, you're lost right now. But in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah, they're talking about that. And she's like, I don't think a man needs to have it. I think a woman needs to have it. And she wants to give this power to her daughter. And Coulson's like, no, it wasn't just about, just being the best or the strongest. They picked Steve Rogers because of his mentality and who he was and what he was all about and his morals, basically. So, I mean, it definitely has to do with what you are and, your mentality. It's not just a physical thing.
Right.
As far as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is saying.
Right. I'm just saying in terms of like, there are many facets to the whole thing. Is you can't just say we got Steve Rogers' blood and now it works. It also, there's a psychological component, and it might be another component that we don't know about. And since no Abraham Erskine, you can't even ask him like, hey, what are all of the properties that need to go into it for it to work? Because it worked with the Red Skull, but it's still, it wasn't perfect.
And had horrible side effects.
Indeed.
No, absolutely. And was it the exact same thing that went into the Red Skull, or actually they had taken it and they had taken it a step further and perfected it? I don't think it was the exact same thing that went into it.
No, I think it was
They
the
actually-
exact same thing.
No, it wasn't the exact same one, because remember,
that's what turned the Red Skull.
Right, and it was like him having the whole Red Skull thing was a side effect of it not being perfected yet.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one.
So there were other components that were missing, from it. Even if you got the secret to how they made Red Skull, it would wind up being disastrous.
And I think that's another reason why they were so gung ho about making sure they had the right mentality when they found Rogers, was to make sure, okay, this time it's gonna affect well with his personality and it'll actually come right. I think the Red Skull was just evil at the core, and that's how that thing kind of took to his DNA, and he became the Red Skull. It messed up his face. He became evil. It warped him in a way. And that's why they wanted to make sure Steve Rogers was as good and, as wholesome as he was. So it would that would be maybe the missing piece.
Yeah, that's why Ernstein, he didn't want to give it to the musclehead guy that was being a dick in the beginning in Captain America, because he knew it would just be another Red Skull repeat.
Absolutely. Back to Black Panther. What do we think about how Killmonger got left in the first place, and the way the original Black Panther just kind of stepped up, killed his dad, and then left Killmonger there? I mean, how do you think he should have went? Should they have taken the little boy should they have taken him back to Wakanda with him, or do you think it was right to just leave him there? Or what do you think about that situation?
They should have, that whole situation could have been better. I think had they tried to explain to that kid exactly what was happening and maybe not actually kill your brother. I mean, lock him up, yeah, but grab the kid too so he knows what's happening. I mean, you basically laid the seeds to have this guy come in years later and fuck you up.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to kill his brother.
He's
in a bulletproof suit and still took him out.
Exactly. It didn't have to go like that.
And just taking it. He didn't have to kill him. He wanted to kill his brother right then.
And not only did you kill him, you killed him and you just left his body there.
Yeah.
You're the prince of Wakanda, your brother. You just left him there and left his kid to find him. Like, come on, man. It's horrible. And you knew he had a son because your boy was your spy. His partner was your guy. So you knew he had a kid. Why would you leave it the way you left it? That was bad planning. That was absolute bad planning. And I'm glad that T'Challa called his dad out on that towards the end.
What do you think about that, BBM? How do you think they should have went about that situation?
That was just so messed up, just leaving him there. Like, you could have just at least brung him over. You didn't even have to, like, raise him. You could have actually had some other people from Wakanda just raising him, and you'd been like, oh, this is my actual family. Like, it all could have been any other way possible. But just leaving him there and then him finding out that, wait a minute, someone just killed my father. Who these people are, they have to be at least the enemy or something. Who he's done wrong to him.
No, I think he was old enough to know where he was from and know exactly what his dad was doing. In that the dream that he had when he took the heart-shaped herb, and his dad was like, what did I tell you about going through my things? He knew exactly what his father was about. He had the mentality that he had because that's what his dad instilled in him already. So he was too old to just take and say, this is your family, you raise him. No, they should have actually taken him into the house, into the castle, and trained him and tried to, I don't want to reprogram, I think has a bad connotation to it, but to just put him on a better path. He was still young, but he was still old enough to remember the ideals that his father was going for. But he, because of the way they left it, he took it to the extreme, trying to realize his father.
He was still young enough. If they'd have brought him home, they could have, like you said,
they could have put him on a better path.
And I think it just comes down to they didn't want a challenge for the throne. I think it just came down to some old school Targaryen bullshit. Like, I want the throne. I don't want you to have it. and I'm gonna take it and leave you here. And that was that.
His dad was old school like that. So yeah, I'll give you that.
I mean, it could have been. And what happened when he took the heart-shaped herb? What happened? He's like, no tears for me? No, motherfucker. There ain't no tears left.
No, motherfuckers die around here. That's just what happens. And right then, his dad's spirit was like, damn, what have I done? Yeah, motherfucker, what did you do?
Yeah,
this is not the way you go about doing shit. Like, everybody was wrong in that whole situation. No one person was really right in the way they went about doing stuff.
And that's why I was like, I kind of think maybe King T'Chaka left him and his nephew there just so his son wouldn't even have any real challengers. Maybe so his son could, basically take the throne unopposed and not have any challengers even after him, trying to succeed his line. I mean, you think it was about that, or was it about something else?
Like, I'm gonna say that it wasn't about that. Look, the mentality that they had was, they came from a very closed off society where for them it's Wakanda first and only. So for T'Chaka, it was like, you betrayed everything that we were raised to believe, right? So remember, his brother was like, yo, we got other people who look like us who are suffering around the world, not even just outside the borders of Wakanda, but around the world. And T'Chaka was like, yo, they're not my people, though. They are not my people. My people are Wakandans. I don't give a fuck about people from Nigeria, Ghana, the Caribbean, right. America. No. If they're not Wakandans, they don't matter. And since you're up here trying to, spread this idea of we need to help all black people, you can kick rocks. You're no longer really a part of this society. And, for him, it was like, look, I sent this guy here to expose the bullshit that you were doing. Now you got to come back and answer for your crimes. And what was his crime? His crime was not putting Wakanda first and only. So,
and was that really a crime? And I want to hear from you again, and then AK, and then BBM. Was that a crime? And whose side are you on? Do you feel like the king was right? Like, we're just here for Wakanda, we need to take care of our people? Or do you feel like his brother was right in the fact that, hey, black people are suffering all over the world. We need to get this. We have the help. We need to get it out to them so they can help themselves. Do you think the king was right, or do you think his nephew was right? Willie, and then BBM, and then AK. What do you think?
No, I definitely think that the brother was right on this one. T'Chaka was on some bullshit, and had T'Chaka been more open, maybe his brother wouldn't have wanted to, arm people in order to get, more freedom or equality for black people around the world. And that was the lesson that T'Challa had to learn. Because it was a thing of, hey, look, just because we have all of this stuff and we don't want people to take it from us or to bring down our society, it doesn't mean that we can't help people. Now, he might have went about it the wrong way, talking about he wants to arm people with weapons and he was willing to sell the claw to get the money to do that. But he had the right idea, and even Killmonger had the right idea about, well, maybe not, so much the right idea, because, Killmonger was straight up and down like, all right, we about to go and take this whole thing over by violence. But it was still the whole thing of, he didn't want to see people who looked like him suffer needlessly. And T'Chaka was like, yo, I don't care if they look like me. They're not my people. And I think that the whole message resonated because of, a lot of stuff that we're going through currently and things that have happened, throughout history, where you have people who are just like, hey, You know, if they're outside these borders, they don't matter. And look, I understand wanting to protect the people who are from where you're from, but at the same point, if the world is to be a better place, somebody's got to lead. You know, and T'Chaka didn't want that responsibility. So at the end of the day, that whole civil war that took place in Wakanda for the throne and Killmonger doing what he did is directly T'Chaka's fault.
Oh, of course it is. So, are you on the side of T'Chaka or his brother? Do you think his brother was in the right, trying to help his people all over the world, or do you think T'Chaka was right, trying to keep his people safe in Wakanda only? Just a simple answer. Which one was in the right?
Oh, his brother was in the right, but I think his methods were wrong.
What about you, AK? What do you feel about that situation?
BBM was next.
Okay, BBM, go.
The king was right, even though it's like the brother is like what Don was saying. The brother, good, right? Like open up your borders to Wakanda, actually help out people everywhere else. But just the way he went about it, just going to claw, like there's possibly people, and there actually shows signs of it, that people in Wakanda actually want to help other people outside. Like, yeah, like T'Challa's like his ex-girlfriend was talking about, hey, let's open our borders, let's actually help people out everywhere else. But he's like, no, tradition says like you're supposed to be closed off, you're not supposed to do anything. But the way he just actually went to claw and actually told him, hey, this is how you get into Wakanda and stuff. It's like, no, like the way he went about it was just wrong. And then what is you gonna do with the vibranium? You know, just giving it to weapons and just like causing chaos. It's like, no. So I have to go with the king on this.
Split decision so far. AK, you gonna break the tiebreaker? Was the king right or was T'Challa right?
I don't know. I don't know that I will break the tie, but what I will say is, let me see how to put it right. Let's see. T'Chaka, I get where he was coming from, as well as his brother, but I'm going to even remove them from the situation and take it further back, because at points in history, sometimes things have gone too far and some things can't be handled in certain ways, like with, arming everyone and going to start wars and kill and take over. You're basically doing the same thing that other people did to other folks around the world. But if you go back, like in the beginning of the movie, they showed that little timeline where everything in Africa was being conquered and people were being enslaved. At that point, well before T'Chaka's time, Wakanda could have stepped in and could have saved millions, billions of people. Quite honestly, with the technology that they had at that time, Africa would have been a contender. They might not have gone out and conquered people, but they for damn sure would not have been conquered. So I think the decision way back then, even to stay isolated, was wrong. Now for Killmonger and his dad, I think they both had the right ideals, but in the way going about doing it was wrong. I mean, Killmonger's dad, for one, you don't go to the enemy and say, this is how you get into my country to take this, and actually expect that guy to, he was a criminal. You trusted a criminal to go into your home and steal your most precious thing, and you thought he was just going to share it with, just give it to you. What exactly did you think you were going to pay him that was going to be better than what he was stealing from your home? That was absolutely wrong. And Killmonger, he took it to the even more extreme with what he was trying to do, and that was wrong. Right ideals, but the absolute wrong way of going about it. But at the same time, T'Chaka wasn't right either. I think he could have helped absolutely turn the tides a little bit even back then, and tried to not necessarily like save everyone, because that's a hefty thing to put on any one country, but to at least help stabilize things within their regions, their surrounding regions in Africa. So I honestly can't say either one is right and either one is wrong. It's just their tactics that were wrong.
I mean, even going back, you're saying like if they'd have way back when, if they'd have given it out and helped people out, it's like, how many people are on whose side? It's like if they let too much vibranium get out, and then all of a sudden you have all these different countries that have now found a way to maybe even make vibranium more ruthless, and you've even found a way to do it, and you've got 20 other countries coming against you. Maybe, I mean, I think inevitably if they would have done it way back then, they would have been conquered and they would have lost everything because the other countries would have came in and just taken what they wanted. I think they almost had to do.
I think they would have kept the best things for them, and I don't think the way they've come up in their ideals. It seems to me, I mean, and I could be wrong. I'm just like speculating because we're just going on.
It's a fake thing
that we news. Yeah, I think that they could have set up something to where like they made not just alliances or treaties or whatever, but actually just widened Wakanda. And not that they were going out and like conquering other lands, but they were just bringing them into one fold, and train the right people to do the right jobs, and everyone wins. That's how I think they could have balanced it out to where they wouldn't have been necessarily conquered and enslaved and all this other stuff.
It just seems to me vibranium's vibranium. It's like if they get it and you get all these different
But it's only in one place. It's only in one place. It's not all over Africa. It's only in Wakanda.
Right, so but if they would have came after people earlier and people would have found out what it was and they would have exposed themselves earlier, people would have came in and taken it.
Do you really think anyone would have been able to come in and take it? Back then, though, they had like muskets against vibranium weapons. I don't think they would have been able to do a whole lot.
Right, but early on, how advanced were the vibranium weapons? It took them a while to figure out how to.
Still more advanced than what everybody else had, though.
Maybe, but I mean,
they were able to have shields to hide themselves and keep themselves hidden.
Right, I'm just saying it's like
she would have came in.
Weapons in the world would, if you just throw massive bodies and carnage at something, I don't care how great your weapons are. If you have 1 billion people charging you at once, you can only shoot so many. Sooner or later, you're going to get overtaken, and the people with the biggest army is going to win in that case. Especially back then, before it was like.
Do you think the whole world would have come against Wakanda like that though? Because
I think a lot of European countries, would have came up together if they knew something that valuable was there. I think they absolutely would have bonded together and came in and crunched them all and just made it a numbers game and came down and won. Yes, I do believe that. 100%.
Oh damn it! JD rolled out and I didn't even see. Sorry, I wasn't watching the chat.
Be easy, JD. That's all our brothers. We
waiting
love you.
On the next chapter, though. I mean, no pressure, but we're waiting. just so you know.
Brother from another mother. I think that goes for pretty much everybody on the panel. We all love JD.
Absolutely.
That's our guy. So I didn't hear you. I was actually gone for a second. Which 2 characters did you think were going to die in Infinity Wars?
Who, me?
Yeah.
My top 2 are Cap or Tony. I mean, I agree with Don William BBM, like Falcon or Hawkeye could definitely fall out, and there's a chance that Vision could go too. But I think my top 2 would be either Cap or Tony, or both. I mean, they might shock us. They might pull some George R. R. Martin shit and kill everybody that is in the top tier, except maybe 2 or 3 people. I don't know. It's Infinity War, damn it, and it's Thanos, man, for real. It's Thanos. The snap of this guy's finger when he gets everything in the glove that he needs, and half the population is gone. It's a wrap, and we already know from the trailer, from what's Zoe Saldana's character.
Whose character?
Damn it, Zoe Saldana, the Guardians.
Valkyrie?
No.
Oh, the Guardians, the green chick.
Yes.
Gamora, yeah.
Gamora. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I couldn't think of that name just now. But Gamora, you know, what she was saying in the trailer, his life goal has been to wipe out half the population of the and not even just Earth, but of the universe. Because if Thanos ain't from Earth, he just wanted to wipe out half everything. It's not even about courting death, which I think is fucked up because they laid that Easter egg way back in what was it? Was it Iron? It was Iron with Iron Man. No. It was in the Avengers.
Avengers.
Yeah, they laid that Easter egg, and now it's not even about death. It's just about wiping out half the population of the universe. Like, what the fuck?
You said courting them is courting death or whatever.
Yeah. And that was really for I guess that was only an Easter egg for comic book fans because in Infinity War in the comics it was about him being in love with death, which I thought was awesome since they brought Hela in, but now it seems like they're not going that route. But I guess that's neither here nor there. So he's about wiping out a whole bunch of the population, and he doesn't pick and choose who's going to go and who's going to die, or who's going to live. It's just half.
Do you think that picture that Scarlet Witch put in Tony's mind is going to play out at all? Like the Avengers
Possibly.
that showed there? You think that's going to have anything to do with Infinity Wars?
It could happen. I'm not saying for sure, but there's going to be a lot of death, and I think it would hurt a lot for the storyline if they are still following the bare bones of the Infinity Gauntlet storyline from the comic books. If there isn't a lot of heavy loss, because like by the time Infinity War happens, there's maybe out of everyone that we have in the MCU now, there's maybe only 4 or 5 of them that are still present from the comic books. Like we had like the X-Men and Fantastic Four in the comics, but we don't have that for the MCU. So there's a so it's the storyline is really minuscule from how it is in the comics. So I think we could expect to see a lot, and I'm not expecting a whole bunch of our big tier people to die, but it's a definite possibility if they're still following that storyline.
Yeah, because
I think Cap and Scarlet Witch and Brody are all done.
Because in the comics, like in that Infinity War, didn't like freaking Thanos like even killed Captain America? But
no, there was a point, if I'm remembering correctly, and Don Willie, help me out. Isn't it like Cap that he finds like the shards of the time gem or something, and he ends up like way in the future trying to get help to fix shit, and then comes back? I know it's something with him and the Silver Surfer and one other person that does some like real heavy shit.
Because he's dead.
Yeah. You're right.
They killing Doctor Strange. He gone.
I think in the end it ends up being why can I not think of any of the damn Guardian characters? The blue chick, Gamora's sister,
Nebula.
Karen Gillan, Nebula. Yeah. In the end, it in the comic it ends up being Nebula that comes in and helps save the day.
Right.
So
Nebula, I think Nebula kills Thanos.
Yeah, she gets the Infinity Gauntlet from him, and she ends up killing him. And I think they set that up greatly for that to happen in the movie.
She tricks him. Yeah, that isn't one of it. I did see something about that. Because as far as I know, Adam Warlock has it. Adam Warlock gets like an extra.
Yeah, we don't have Adam Warlock for the Infinity. He's coming, but he's not going to be in Infinity, and I don't think he's going to be set up enough to be in the next one.
Wasn't he in the original Guardians when they showed that little pod of the fucking? There's a pod inside.
That was just an Easter egg though. That wasn't like really him.
I thought that was him, and then they come back like they made a whole new.
Yeah, they said this is Adam, and then it cuts to black. But I think
at the end of the movie,
that was Guardians 2 when they said that. I call him Adam. I'm talking about part 1 when he was inside that case.
It wasn't even that. It was
no, that wasn't.
They showed that in Thor. They showed his pod when they were walking through the collector's spot, and they gave him. Yeah, they showed Adam's pod, but that was.
I'm like, isn't that Adam Warlock right there?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they really thought that part through until they got to the second Guardians, and they decided to bring him in.
Marvel. I'm going to say that the timeline is all over the fucking place. It's like
yes, it is.
Spider-Man that goes on to fucking Wakanda. It's like did they not watch these movies and realize the extra scenes they put in before they started making this shit? I'm like, you're getting paid millions of dollars and you can't keep a congruent timeline?
I got a question. I got a question for you, gentlemen. Do you think that, and I guess, if you've watched Comics Explained enough, DJ, you could probably answer, but for BBM and Don Woolley, what do you think are the odds that we get Nakia's storybook comic line?
Yeah, don't know who that is.
Nakia is Black Panther's ex-girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
DJ, and in the comics, she ends up actually being a villain. Now, you gotta remember, she's in basically the same position that T'Chaka's brother was in. Now she's down deep. She's gonna be the Wakanda outreach. Do you think her ideals could change to where she becomes the villain Nakia that we get in the comics? Don Willie.
No. I think that they have built up the story too much. Like, for one, you'd have to show some kind of conflict, and it's like it would be such a shame for them to build up the story to where, like, the two of them have kind of reconciled and they pretty much seem to be back together at the end of the first movie, for them to then have it where the second movie she winds up becoming a villain. I mean, and I don't think she'd be a villain in the second movie. I mean, it could possibly be in the third, but the question is, what would cause the rift that would make her be the villain? There has to be some logical progression to where maybe and here's the only thing I could possibly see, because the Dora Milaje is supposed to be wives in training to the king, and in the comic books, Nakia was actually a Dora Milaje who wound up getting kicked out, and that's how she wound up becoming a villain. So unless it wound up being a thing where they haven't necessarily, like, officially gotten together, even by the next movie, Nakia is still doing the outreach thing, and then you have a new Dora Milaje that T'Challa takes a liking to and is kind of paying her more attention, and then maybe in the third film, that's when Nakia becomes a villain, because now T'Challa has taken a liking to someone else. I could see that happening, but definitely not in part 2.
All right, I feel that. BBM?
For me, again, just like what Don says, I don't really see it. If anything, a great chance of actually becoming evil is possibly teaming up with Killmonger, because, again, like, Killmonger was about to go and, like, equip people with vibranium and stuff and help other people.
Killmonger's dead.
Again, before his death, she could have allied herself with him to even help out people, but she didn't even do that. Again, not only that, though, but it's like if they're going to do it, maybe near the end of the second film, maybe tie it up for her being the big bad in the third film, if they're going to do it that way. But if anything, in the second film, I can see, like, Kraven, because I think he was supposed to be the villain for the first film, but then they decided not to even do that. So it would make sense for him to be, like, the next villain. Now that Wakanda like opened its gates, he can just like say, "Oh wait, so this is Wakanda," and that could be like his next big hunt.
That I think they were already talking about that. I think he is going to be the big villain for part 2. But yeah, I didn't mean like right away, like gradually, like they would build that up, and then eventually she would become like Malice.
Too popular
like
of a character right now, but if they're gonna do that, it's like really makes sense. Like,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think it would be awesome. Mm-hmm. I think it would be awesome to see.
What would stop a villain from taking the heart-shaped herb, getting all those special powers, and then challenging the king for the thing? It's like snuck in, took some of the heart-shaped herb, and now the king has to untake the herb, so he's straight, but doesn't realize that this villain has come in with the herb and now whoops your ass and takes over the kingdom. How do they stop that from happening?
What villain would know about the heart-shaped herb, though?
Well, that and plus Killmonger. Well, now remember, Killmonger burned all of them.
Yeah, they don't even have the heart-shaped herb anymore.
Do you think?
Some pod somewhere?
Like before this, even what stopped it from happening? Or do you think that like Shuri really only took the one, or do you think she actually has a couple?
Yeah, it's possible she could have a couple, but I think it boils down to the people that you have on your team. Like the people that were in the castle, they were very loyal to the Black Panther. But I mean, of course, they were loyal to the rules, which is how Killmonger was able to take the throne. But I don't think that that's something that they would just give away. I think they guard that even more than they guard vibranium.
So we're saying that now that it's all been burned and she took that one last piece, like nobody else can ever challenge because you can't untake it because there's no more hard herb to take. Like that's just it. He's got to keep it forever, or there's no more black. Like what happens with that now? Now that Killmonger burned all the herbs, how do we get another?
If the Force would have carried in and like no one knows how to like regrow the damn heart-shaped herb or something.
Well, the herb there's no way to grow it. It came down as far as I know, as far as I've seen or whatever. It was a meteor that came down. A meteor came down and it made vibranium, and that vibranium basically radiation turned some of the plant life into this plant life herb. So if there's no more meteor coming down to hit it to turn it into that, how is there ever going to be? I mean, it's not like something you can just grow. It wasn't a botany thing. This was something from outer space that came down and changed it. So how do you get any more?
Well, it was radiated by the
vibranium.
You know, and there's still a bunch of vibranium around.
So it is possible. It is possible. It'll just take a while for it to start sprouting again.
Or you could just use the Infinity Stones. Just get Doctor Strange's time, and you'll just
get the time gem, go back and steal a couple pods, and then come back out. It's you know what? It's a simple fix, and they honestly could do that if Doctor Strange survives and they can get their hands on the time gem. I don't know. We'll see.
They're not gonna kill Doctor Strange. His movie made money. I can see. Look,
if Doctor Strange is dead.
If it was like the Incredible Hulk, where the Incredible Hulk really didn't make money, it's like, all right, cool, you can kill him off, you know, or just have him as a background character. But Doctor Strange, that movie actually made money. They're not gonna kill off the Incredible. I mean, they're not gonna kill off Doctor Strange. They're just not gonna do that.
I disagree. I say the man's dead. He gone. He didn't make $1 billion. He gone.
Wait up, but then they also set up Doctor Strange 2 with Baron Mordo. So
yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, they're not gonna kill off Doctor Strange. It's still a vibe. Yo, y'all need to stop that, man.
Who was your favorite character on Black Panther, Don?
Oh man,
And AK, we're coming to you next, and BBM you next. So start thinking. Who's your favorite character on Black Panther?
Man, it's hard. Yo, like Black Panther had a lot of good characters. I liked M'Baku. I liked Okoye. I liked Shuri a lot. You know. You know what? I'm gonna go with Okoye. I think Okoye was probably my favorite character in that movie. I mean, because not only was she principled, but you know, she was a great fighter. You know, and she stood for what she believed in. So yeah, Okoye.
It's almost not fair after hearing those lines from the new one when she's talking about the Olympics, maybe a Starbucks. Come on. She knocked it out the park with that.
I missed the question. I was frozen for a bit.
Oh, okay. But yeah, she knocked it out of the park with that. She is almost my favorite just because of those lines in the new movie to come. But yeah, I'm with you. We were asking AK, who is your favorite character in Black Panther?
Oh, easily Okoye. I mean, first of all, it's Michonne, and if y'all do follow me, then you know I fucks with The Walking Dead and The Walking Bread channel, and I've been voicing Michonne since issue 52 for the motion comics we've been doing. That's my girl, and Denai is just sexy as hell, and she was another perfect casting. Her being Okoye and wielding that damn spear, like the Dora Milaje, and she was the general. The Dora Milaje are a well-oiled machine. The way they fought, like they almost got Killmonger, almost by themselves, and just everything about Okoye. I mean, her attitude, like she's all business when she needs to be, but you know, she pop a little joke, a little zinger in there every now and then. She's like the all-around chick, man. Is yeah.
Did he freeze like an antler and headlights?
Right, exactly. Right. And before that, 2 seconds before that, she's just all military commander. Just
right? Just
and then she just popped out real quick. And she has a beautiful fucking smile. I'm a sucker for a lady with a great
beautiful
smile.
Everything. She is just beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. So,
absolutely. Okoye.
Oh man, that's almost 3 for 3. BBM, who was your favorite? Who was that?
Said Shuri is a close second, but Okoye is the best. Go ahead, BBM.
Shuri was dope. Go ahead, BBM. Who's your favorite?
Now, Okoye is my second, but the first has to be Killmonger. I'm sorry. Fan of the villains, but if a villain is done right, which, you know, Marvel sometimes has been like hit and misses with certain villains, though. But for me to get behind him at certain points in the film, I'm like, you're supposed to be the villain. I'm supposed to hate you against your ways and stuff. But then at the same time, I'm like, you know what? You're not wrong, though, at the same time. That, and of course, one of my favorite scenes is with him in the challenge day, not challenge day, but him challenging, you know, T'Challa to the point he's like, oh, is this your king? Is this your king? And everything else, with the build up to it. It was good. So
like a Lannister.
You can't be mad at that. Killmonger was, I'm right there with you. I mean, they're both, that's a tough one, but Killmonger is probably the greatest character in this movie.
But the thing is, this means you are not about Wakanda forever, okay?
No.
Because Killmonger was not about Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
AK
was about Wakanda forever.
AK in Civil War, I think it was Civil War, she walked up to Black Widow and she was like, "Move,
no.
Moved."
That was not Okoye. That was Oko.
Oh, was it?
Yes, that was Oko.
I was like, she's like, "Move or you will be moved." I was like, who wins that battle?
You know what? If it was Okoye, I would say Okoye. If it was Nakia, I would say Black Widow. Oko, however, is a wild card because Oko can fight. She is also a badass with the spear. But Widow got them hands.
Widow's sick with hers, for real.
For them two, they pretty evenly matched. They pretty evenly matched. I think I would give a slight edge to Black Widow just because she's a little bit enhanced.
Really? What about you, Willie? What do you think? Who wins that?
Oko is hot though.
Yeah, I was just about to say, speaking of enhanced, can we give a shout out to Oko for that booty?
Woo! Yes, Lord. And yo,
absolutely.
Two sips, 3 sips for Oko, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, when I bought Civil War, the Blu-ray, when I got to the part where she steps out and she's walking out front, I was like, hold on, pause.
Freeze.
I just need to focus on it real quick right there.
Yes.
Man.
Speaking of which, that wouldn't even been a battle of like fists. That would have been a battle of the booties. I mean, because Widow ain't slipping on the booty either. That's just real.
Oh, yeah, that's just enhanced in the Marvel. On screen, it's enhanced.
Yeah. Now, but as far as fighting, yeah, you know, Black Widow does happen to have some Hydra enhancements. You know, from her Red Room days. Even though in the MCU she wasn't Hydra.
It's not played up as much. But she is a little bit in there.
Right. But you know, she isn't fighting all the time and training all the time in the way that the Dora Milaje is all about war. You know, 24/7, 365.
Very true.
So look, I would give the very slight edge the tiniest edge to Black Widow, but Black Widow is going home with a couple vibranium skulls.
Oh, absolutely. It's not going to be easy.
She don't remember.
Fight, not at all.
Oh, that is just classic. BBM, if there's one thing you could have added to Black Panther to make it better, what would it have been?
To add anything?
What would you have done to Black Panther to make it better? And then I want to hear from Don Willie. What would you have done?
It was good enough on its own, though, just to add anything. If they add the Soul Gem, maybe that's what it would have been. That's the only thing I would say. Just add the freaking Soul Gem, though. Damn that, or just maybe a little bit of Bucky, but not just make him do a little bit too much. I would say not just a little bit more than like the freaking after credit scene.
I think I was supposed to go next on this one. Yeah, the only thing I would add is maybe a better post-credit scene for Bucky. Everything else, I don't think there's anything that you could really add to that movie. I mean, that movie, like even before you got to the post-credit and the mid-credit scenes, I mean, it was so well encapsulated that I can't personally think of anything to add to it. Yeah, I can't really think of anything to actually add to it. I mean, because look, they gave you a great prologue that explained the history of Wakanda. We got the action that was necessarily that was necessary. We got the story that was necessary. And then we got the conclusion that was necessary. So yeah, I mean, other than the end scene being a little disappointing, I wish they would have done like what they've done with a few of the previous Marvel movies, where it's actually a scene from the next movie. That's the only thing I would have changed, is make a scene from the next movie.
That's pretty sick. What about you, AK? Is there anything you would have added to this to make it just a little bit better, or did it hit right on par for you?
Yeah, I'm with Don Willie. There really isn't, excuse me, there really isn't too much more that could have been done except for making a reference to an Infinity Stone or to Infinity War in general. I mean, the bit with Bucky, I think was cool. I need them to expound a bit more on giving him the White Wolf title, and for you guys that are only movie MCU fans and not necessarily in comic books, the White Wolf is Black Panther's white adopted brother in the comics. This kid actually grew up in Wakanda, grew up with the royal family. That's why he is the White Wolf. So for them to transfer that onto Bucky, I think we need to actually see interactions with him and T'Challa, not just with him and Cap. So something more to that, I guess, would have been better instead of just the kids calling him the White Wolf. And sidebar, how creepy were them fucking kids all in this man's face while he's asleep in his hut trying to recover? And they just like the camera was literally on his face like this. That was the perspective, the point of view for the kids. Why are you all in that man's hut while he's asleep? Go do something.
That's exactly how it would have been. You bring this white man into Wakanda. They had said they ain't never seen a white man in their life.
I understand, but can you let the man sleep? Can he sleep in peace though?
No. Every one of them kids is going to be like, who's this? What's this about? What's going on? You're weird. I've never seen this before. This is odd. What's happening? That's exactly how it would go. Exactly.
For how long already though? It's been at least a year or so he's been there. Come on.
You tell a bunch of kids, hey, you can do anything, but don't go over there. What's the first thing they're going to do? Head the fuck over there and go check that shit out.
That's still creepy. It's still creepy. You in this man's face, literally 2 inches from his face while he's asleep.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's exactly how it would have been, too.
Shooty, the colonizer, he is woken up. The colonizer has woken up.
Exactly.
We are calling the colonizer the White Wolf.
Right, and the kids gave him the name of the White Wolf. I would like to know how they came up with you wanting to call it. You ain't seen him do shit. Why does he have the power of the wolf? He's been laid out in a coma. half asleep the whole time you've seen him. Why is he the white one?
Well, they knew they did something to him, so he's like their $6 million man, basically, just sitting there waiting to wake up with his powers and get woke. Because they know they did something to him. Absolutely.
Where yeah, the only thing that I could have seen was just more reference to what's coming. Like the that other scene with T'Challa when he was announcing that, you know, Wakanda's going to be open up to the world and we got the outreach program and all that. That wasn't necessary. It was already set up before the credits rolled. So I didn't think that needed to be in there. Something a little more meaty for the next movie would have been better. That's the only thing though. Otherwise, like I said, 9.5 pieces of vibranium. It was.
I personally think they could have done with a little bit more action. I think I would have liked to seen Black Panther in his suit whooping a little bit more ass, but kind of showing it and bringing his backstory. I mean, they leveled it all out pretty tight.
You know what? On second thoughts, one of the things that they cut out, outside of having what's his name, the hunter in there, one of the things that they cut was Shuri getting a Black Panther suit. That would have been, instead of her like being in the holographic car and helping out, her actually being on the scene, that maybe could have made it better, because there was concept art out of her in her own suit, and I think we're going to get that in part 2.
Could be. It's funny how they put some of the coolest clips as the extra clips. It's like you got to sit through all that bullshit just to see that little like, oh, what are they going to do with that? It's like, you bastard. It's just the ultimate fucking clickbait.
That's what Marvel does, though. They keep us chomping at the bit. Come back for more.
Absolutely. Do we think Shuri's the only one that stole a heart herb? Is the heart herb gone until they grow more? Or do you think, like, if you really think, like, they have these people, these gardeners, and that's their only job is to take care of this heart herb and to cultivate it and to make sure it's, like, makes it on and lives on throughout, you think they're really going to get this new crazy king out of nowhere that's like, fucking burn it all, and none of them are going to take something and put it somewhere to cultivate? Like, somebody would rebel and do something somewhere. I mean, they'd have a little greenhouse at home and be like, yeah, we can't just let this die. I mean, do we really think Shuri's the only one that stole the last heart herb and it's gone?
It was Nagia.
Yeah, I was about to say it wasn't
Nagia, not Shuri.
Or Nagia, yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
I mean, and see, if anything, that might have been the scene that I would have added at the end, was showing someone with a heart-shaped herb or a few, and maybe replanting them in a garden.
That would have been dope as shit as an extra scene. I love that.
That would have been hot.
Or if not that, maybe it growing somewhere underground in the vibranium mine.
Or maybe, yeah, like somebody else had already seen, knows of a secret garden or has another secret garden going somewhere. I love that. That would be sick.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, they're gonna have to do something because, yeah, again, there are many people now who know that at some point Shuri becomes the Black Panther, at least for a limited time. So you're gonna have to reintroduce the heart-shaped herb, because, yeah, you know what? I could see part 3 being the conflict between T'Challa and Nakia, possibly. T'Challa being knocked out for a significant portion of the movie, Shuri getting the heart-shaped herb, becoming the Black Panther for maybe like the second act, and then in the third act it's Shuri and T'Challa versus Nakia and possibly an underling or a squad of goons or something like that. So yeah, they're gonna have to reintroduce it. I don't think that you can just have Killmonger burn that kind of resource and have it be it, because they've already shown future versions of the Black Panther in the comic books. So obviously, unless it's gonna be a thing where they synthesize T'Challa's blood and
like Captain America, yeah.
Hey, I mean, Shuri is at the helm in the lab, so that is possible. She could figure it out.
Right.
So if somebody had came in and you were Wakandan and you went back there and you're like, you don't really like the way things are going, and you're like, Killmonger kind of had a point, and somebody comes up to you and is like, well, the herb's not really gone. I still have this little bit here. Would you take it? Like somebody comes up with you with a heart-shaped herb, are you taking it, or are you like, no, that's just for the king? What about you, BBM? Do you take the heart-shaped herb?
I'll take the heart-shaped herb and then give it to the damn king. No.
Oh, so you wouldn't ingest it. You would take it and give
Yeah.
it to the king. Wow, that's noble. That's a twist I didn't see coming. What about you, AK? What do you do if that situation happens?
Slightly on the fence. Slightly on the fence. Like, yo, I've said it before in other streams. If I got powers, Lord Commander might be a bit of a villain at some points in time.
I'm not even gonna lie. You give me that herb, I'm gonna take it and challenge the motherfucker.
I might be compelled,
right?
To take that for myself. Like, I don't want to be the ruler, no, but give me some enhancements, bruh. Put me on the team.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not even gonna lie. I'd just take it and go challenge the king. Like, yeah, I'll challenge you. Let's go.
I don't think I would challenge him. I wouldn't challenge him. I don't know that I would want.
Oh, money and the power. Let's get it.
However, I would be a part of the squad, though. I'll say that. I would definitely go in and be part of the squad. Now, if the responsibility was thrust on me and I had to take it necessarily, then yeah, Wakanda forever.
What about you, Willie? Do you take the herb or do you give it to the king? What do you do in that situation? You become the king, challenge the king, give the herb to the king?
Well,
what do you do?
Here's my question. Is the king at this point, is he still on the whole isolationist tip? Or has he said, hey, you know what? Now
it's exactly what it is in the show. He's starting to come out a little bit. He still has his old beliefs, but he's starting to reach out. He just bought this building in the projects. He is starting to branch out and help people out a little bit, but it's a slow process. And you think you could get things done a lot faster. Do you take it, or do you try to explain to him? Do you take the herb? Do you challenge him? What do you do?
I'd hold on to it and look at his progress. If I feel as though he is reverting to the old ways and he does not want to help the people outside of Wakanda, then
not only on that little finger shit. Let me just put it over here, wait and see what happens.
I might have to challenge him for the throne, but I also need to do some more training, because at the end of the day, if I'm going to challenge the king, I must make sure to be a most competent warrior. Okay, I cannot just go around with just regular MMA fighting. I must learn some other things. So maybe, since we have the outreach program, I might go to some other places to learn some new fighting styles that maybe the king would not know. So this way, if I do have to challenge him, I will know how to defeat him in a way that he would not be expecting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna take the fucking herb and I'm gonna challenge the king and be like, "You on that bullshit? It's time to get shit changed around. Let's do it." It's like if you're going too slow, you got all this and it's ready to go. It's time for a change. Yeah, I'd take it and be like, "Let's get it." It's like your family done fucked off, and the way you're doing things ain't right. Is a little too slow progress for me. We got to turn this shit around. Let's go. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I'd take the herb like a motherfucker and be like, "Let's get it." But that's sick. That's cool to hear the different perspectives on that and what you would do, and that's the real deal. Is like if you could do it, you'd be stronger. Now the king's going to do it the right way and decontaminate himself and not be strong, and all of a sudden you're going to have all these powers. It's like how has the kingdom not been tainted already? Because somewhere along the line, somebody's like, yeah, you not take the herb, and I'm going to take the herb, and then we're going to see what happens. And we've already seen the king kill his brother over some dumb shit to keep the kingdom and his family. So you don't think somebody else would take the herb and lie about it and some shit like that? They only made the king take that herb, the thing, to make him not become strong anymore. So if you're the challenger and you got your hands on some of that heart-shaped herb and nobody knew about it, how are they going to know? You just become the king, right?
Let me respond to Aaron Water. Yes, babe. Come on, man. We've had these conversations. Don't act like you don't know your woman. I said might. I mean, there's a chance you might be able to steer me on the right path, but I don't know. I'm being real. I could be a villain. Would you rather me lie?
What was cooler, Shuri's little Panther fist blasters or the Rhino warrior things, the Rhino tanks? The rhinos were sick, but it's like you have vibranium weapons. What do you really need these rhinos running around? I don't know. But the rhino fucking
regular rhinos though.
I mean, but look,
rhino tanks were dope.
If you have the right person who can just step in front of the rhinos and the rhinos stop, then that's.
But how many of those people do you really have? It was only one person. It was a whole bunch of Dora Milaje out there in front of them rhinos, and only one person got them to stop.
You would really kill me, my love?
Nope. He couldn't have killed her with that rhino if he wanted to. Rhino was like, "Oh wait, that's mommy. I can't do that." What you doing? Do you see who this is? What the fuck? He stopped dead cold and gave her a kiss.
No, those rhinos were one of the sickest things in it.
Those rhinos were like the dire wolves of Wakanda, man.
Oh, they were the sickest. I loved them.
To the point that T'Challa was like, yeah, don't summon them. He was like, F this. He blew the damn horn and they came charging.
Oh, they all coming. Was Claw really a villain or just a guy trying to get paid?
Both. I don't think those two things are exclusive.
He just seemed like he was just an arms dealer trying to make a buck. He wasn't in it for the politics of it. He didn't care. He was just like, there's $1 to be made. Let's get it. It's like, and who's not going to do that in some sense of it?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, was he truly evil or was he just trying to make $1?
I mean, he was still an arms dealer. Those aren't good people.
Right. I get you. But yeah, like I said, I think he's just trying to make $1. It's like I don't think he's a diehard like Marvel villain. I think he's just a guy trying to make a buck.
Nah, it was more than just that, because I mean, if you look at it, and this is one of the kind of subtle things that they did with this character, because they made him a white South African. And if you know the history of South Africa with apartheid and all that, and some of like the old school right wing groups out there, like, remember, he was up there calling them savages. Like he explicitly was like, "Yo, you don't want to deal with those people. Those people are savages. They're not like you and me. We're civilized, not those people over there." So, like he was a villain. He had a villainous mentality, and it was like, hey, all right, well, the people in Wakanda don't deserve what they have. It's only right for me to have it and do what I think is best with it. So it was more than just money to him. It was also a thing of he thought he was better than the people in Wakanda.
There you go.
That sounds like a villain.
Yeah, that's a villain for sure. BBM, what team up or duo are you looking forward to the most for Infinity Wars? What duo do you want to see match up? What are you excited to see?
Good. Of all, I still want to see Rocket just to meet Bucky so he can ask him for his damn metal arm. That scene I want to see so bad. In every film, it's always something different with freaking Rocket, to the point that's what I got to see. That's what I honestly have to see. But I still want to see the Iron Man and Star-Lord, because when we see that in the freaking trailer talking about, oh, here's a plan, and then he's like, wait,
your plan
is doing it. I'm like, yeah, I gotta see this plan that Star-Lord actually wants to do.
That's pretty good.
That's what I'm gonna see.
That was one of the best parts in the trailer for sure. AK, what duo are you looking forward to the most? You already hinted at it.
Oh, I said this in the stream that me, BBM, and Monero did. Shuri and Spidey. You put those. I mean, first of all, they're the same age right now. They're both high school kids, and they both have that same extra energy. Like, I want to do this. Put me on the squad. Give me something to do. You put them in a lab, and the shit's gonna be fire. Once Shuri actually gets like more than just her gauntlets, and you put them on the fighting field, I think it's gonna be like watching Ken and Ryu. You know, we gonna get some double Kadoukens and all that good shit. I could be wrong, but I really think that their dynamic could work very well on screen.
That'd be pretty tight. Now, aren't Jessica Jones and Spider-Man supposed to have gone to the same school, and didn't like Jessica Jones have like a crush on him back in the day?
In the comics, yes, but obviously
on the show
is not in high school anymore, so
right?
That's not a storyline that we're gonna see.
No, yeah, this continuity shit is bullshit. What about you, Don Willie? What is your what are you looking forward to the most to seeing in tandems when we get all these people together on the same screen?
Man, this is a crazy one. A duo that I would like to see on screen. You know what? I hadn't thought about any duos that we haven't already seen.
Yeah, Spidey and Stark was pretty dope. Getting to see them in the same show together was pretty tight.
Right. And you know, he kind of knighted him and was, you know, like, hey, you're an adventure now. So that was pretty cool. You know what? Not duo, but Thor and the Guardians. Thor and the Guardians is I think is gonna be so much fun, especially coming off of the last Thor movie. You know, Chris Hemsworth is getting to flex his comedic muscle as of late. So yeah, I think just that whole team up with him with the Guardians is gonna be awesome. So that's what I want to see. I know it's a little cheating, but you know, fuck it. Fuck the role.
Awesome. What do you think about some people saying that the Soul Gem is with the Supreme Leader, or the Grand, whatever his name is, Goldblum? Because remember, he had that staff and he zapped old boy and it sucked the soul out of him and killed him and all that. So I heard a couple people thinking like maybe that's where the Soul Gem is the Supreme Leader has it in that staff. You think there's any validity to that?
The Grandmaster is what he's called, but that would be interesting, but we didn't see anything that necessarily indicated because like whenever you have one of those infinity gems, you definitely see the gem, or at least it radiating the power.
Right, but he had that staff, and at the top of it there was that yellow gem at it, and then he tapped that dude and it kind of sucked the soul right out of him. So I mean, it kind of showed a gem. We don't know if it was the Infinity Stone gem. And the only reason I would give any validity to this theory is that whenever they showed the sky, they showed like when shit was coming through the universe and dropping into this world, it was like the different color, like it was the 4 different colored Infinity Stone gems up there that were in the sky. It was like, I don't know, it was just kind of random. Why did they have these different color like stone things in the air where things were coming through the universe and dropping in on this planet? I don't know. It's almost like they were just kind of subconsciously trying to tie it all in to me. In Thor Ragnarok.
That film was so colorful, like it had my past.
But yeah, if you look at it, like in the sky, they have like these 4 little like portholes that are all different colors, and it looks like 4 Infinity Stones up there. And that's where shit from the universe is kind of coming through and flying in and landing where they're at. But I don't know, it just kind of seemed like an homage, like, hey, maybe this cat does have this soul gem, and that's what that staff is that he has. I don't know. It made sense when I heard the theory and they were tying it all together, and then I kind of thought that part of it. I was like, it does kind of all work together.
What theory is this?
That I'm going to get his name wrong. I've been drinking, but Don Willie, help me out. The Grandmaster, Jeff Goldblum. He had that staff, and it had like the little yellow gem on top of it, and like he went to his cousin or whatever when he was sitting next to Thor, and he tapped him, and it like sucked the soul out of him. And, you know, this guy's like the Grandmaster, went to the end of the world, started this whole planet, deemed himself the Grandmaster. This is where a lot of things in the universe seem to, like, fall. And they make it seem like it's, like, garbage that kind of ends up there. But how easy could it be for maybe one of the random Infinity Stones to fall in there? And he's the first one and started all this. So maybe he found that, you know, made that staff with the Infinity Gem. And that's how he dubbed himself the Grand Master and made himself the leader of this world.
The way they set that up, actually, like he's a collector of things of a sorts also. Like with the arena, he likes collecting warriors. And in the comics, if I remember correctly, him and the actual collector, they're brothers or related in some way. So it would make sense that he's he just isn't on the level that the collector is. So yeah, he could have this one cool shiny thing and decide to do something completely random with it.
And I mean, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about the comics, but isn't he like one of the first supreme beings? Yeah. Like that's when he went there, and like he's basically a god, an entity in the way.
He's as old as the collector is, and they are very, very old beings.
Right. So I mean, absolutely, he could have been around in time to have that.
I could see it working. I could see that working.
So I mean, when I heard the theory, and then I kind of started tying my own things into it with it, I was like, I could see him going that way, absolutely. But I'm still with Heimdall. I'm like, this motherfucker can see every soul in the 9 realms. He's like the cat. He's got the little gold bead on his breastplate. I'm like, Heimdall's got the soul gem. That's where I'm at. But I don't know. BBM, have we heard from you? Where do you think the soul gem is?
I have no idea, to be honest. First, I thought it was Wakanda, like everyone was saying.
You bought that?
Yes, I was on that because it made sense though. Because after like you eat the heart-shaped herb, they saw their ancestors and stuff. So I'm just like, okay, so they're just tying in with that or something. But then nope, they didn't do it. At this point, I won't even be surprised if we even see the freaking soul gem in Infinity Wars. Because every time we see Thanos with his damn gauntlet, it's like he only has like freaking 2 stones in it. The power gem and then the Tesseract one, and then it looks like he's still going after Vision with the mind gem. To this point, I'm like, are we even going to be seeing it at all?
And they didn't show any signs of him having the ether yet either.
But I think there was like a clip or something that was shown at the Disney Expo that I remember seeing on Instagram. There was a clip where Thanos goes after the Collector. So at this point, it's possible. Well, with Marvel with their trailers, they be editing up to the point that you don't know what you're going to see.
You don't know what's happening first.
Like, he lost an eye, and even when they did the Disney Expo, when they showed that Infinity War trailer, Thor had both of his eyes. He wasn't even missing one. So at this point, I don't know.
But Thanos has to go to the Collector. The Collector has 2 Infinity Stones.
Why wouldn't he? One.
He can go there.
No, he only has 1 now.
What's that?
He only has 1 now. He only has the ether. They were going to give him the power gem, but remember that's when what's his name attacked, and the power gem ended up with Nova Prime.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because that would have been messed up to give him somebody that easy 2 Infinity Stones and just snatch him up right there. Because it seems like every single trailer we see with Thanos, he's got the first 2 already. So whatever it is, like instantly in Infinity Wars, he's just instantly going to have 2 of them power gems. It's not going to take any time at all.
It could be editing for the trailers where they're not showing the other gems in the glove just so they don't spoil stuff.
Right. But I'm saying like all 3 trailers, he has a few more of them in some of them, but in all the trailers, he's got those first 2. It's like he's got the Tesseract and the Power Stone in every trailer. So he's going to go to Nova Corps and whoop them up and take it. And then he's going to go and somehow get the other one, whichever one that other one there is. They keep switching the colors, so I'm not sure exactly, but it seems like it's going to be the Ethra or whatever, what the Dark Elves had.
Yeah, but Nova Corps could barely even handle Ronin. Without the Guardians, that shit would have been a wrap. So they're not going to be able to hold off Thanos, not at all.
That was ridiculous to give it to them. That was the dumbest thing ever. It's like anybody in the Guardian that wanted to
about Thanos for whatever reason. I don't know why, but
right. But they wouldn't even taken Thanos because, like you said, old boy almost took it. If it wasn't for the Guardians and him being like a planetary deity already, he would have got it already. That had already lost it.
Speaking of which, do you guys think that his power is actually gone because Ego's dead?
No.
I think it would be really, really dumb to have him lose that extra special part of himself, because then what's the point of him?
Yeah, no, I think Ego was crying because Ego knew Ego wouldn't be Ego without that power. That's all he was crying. He's like, no, we can't lose it because we won't have any more. No, Ego knew he'd be done without it. But he's already like, he's past that gene, whatever it is. He's only half a deity as it is, and he's passed that on to him. So Star-Lord's got that. I don't think the light matters. I think that was more just for Ego to live and have his power. But I am no diehard comic boy fan, so I could definitely be wrong on that.
No, it wasn't even Ego in the comics. Jason of Spartax is his father in the comics. They changed that to the MCU.
Yeah, see, I can't even go there. Like I said, I only know what goes on in the show.
Sorry, you fucking with comic book heads right now, so we gotta put the shit out there.
Well, let's bring it back to something I know because we're gonna be wrapping it up pretty soon. But let's take it back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I know my man. I was hearing my man Don Willie talking about how great Daisy is. I motherfucking can't stand a Daisy. That spoiled little bitch. She drives me nuts. I can't handle it. And there was nothing greater to me than this season when Fritz put her in her place and was like, yo, what about all them bullshit times that you didn't listen to nobody? You was like, fuck it, I'm going to do whatever it is I want to do. And now you want to go crying about the shit I had to do to save everybody. At least when I did my shit, it was to save the world. Your little egotistical little ass just does to do whatever Daisy wants to do. Fuck you, you spoiled little shit. That's what I have to say about Daisy. What?
How dare you? How dare you talk about Daisy Johnson, who would wind up being the savior of the planet at the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Look, at the end of the day, Fitz was an evil man, okay? He was the doctor who experimented on Inhumans inside of the framework and who helped Ada to become a real woman.
I say he did what he had to do, but go on.
He helped Ada to become a real woman, and she in turn created the Superior, who is now out there creating LMDs without faces. So, Daisy Johnson has not done anything as evil as the Doctor. And plus, he knows that Deke is his own grandson, and yet he still decides to chastise him any chance that he gets. So I cannot.
Oh, it's terrible.
I cannot consider him to be such a good man, and even he knows it. Okay, look, what Daisy may have done may not have been the greatest thing in the world, but remember, she grew up as an orphan. She never knew her real family. And the only family she ever had taught her to be an independent woman who was out there hacking the government. So how much do you expect her to trust?
I call bullshit. Daisy was ready to throw her entire team under the bus just to get the power of the Terrigen, just to go with her so-called mom that she'd never really known, tried to pull a little Jessica Jones action and be like, well, it's my mom. Maybe she's right. Let me go with her real quick. No, Daisy was willing to throw everybody under the bus to get what Daisy wants. Daisy's willing to tell everybody to fuck off to do what Daisy wants to do. Daisy don't give a fuck about nobody but Daisy.
No, that is bullshit, my brother. That is bullshit. Because at the end of the day, not only did she sacrifice her mother, she sacrificed the entirety of the Inhumans in order to save the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And she was also willing to let her father be erased. Okay? He does not even remember who he is or that he had a daughter. Also, that he would not become Lash once again. Oh, no, sorry.
What? I was like, where is he going with this? No, wait a minute. No, she knows her father was batshit crazy, like Jessica Jones knew her mother was. And it's like, this motherfucker's got to go. He's evil. Fuck him. He ain't about me. He's about himself.
But she allowed that to happen in order to help save the world. Okay.
No, she allowed it to happen because shit wasn't going like she thought it was going to go. So she's like, wait, I was told one thing, but now it's different. So fuck you, you can die. I'm going to do what I want to do, like I do in every single situation that ever comes up, because I'm Daisy Johnson and fuck everybody else. I'm going to do what I feel like doing. Fuck you.
She was willing.
A little bitch.
No. She was willing. She was willing to sacrifice her life on more than one occasion. Okay. She was willing to stay in the future so that she would not become the destroyer of worlds. And who was it that brought her back? It was Coulson. It was Philip J. Coulson who jeopardized the entire world because
she just wanted to stay because she was feeling Deke and she wanted to hang out with some Deke and be her thing. She didn't care about nothing else. But
listen, it was already established that as soon as Deke would hook up the storm or to the gravitonium machine, that he would die. Okay, he was told that it would be a one-way trip. He did not know the one-way trip would be to the past.
It was a saving grace, and he got the lucky reboot. But what about our daughter? Our daughter hooked up with a crazy space pirate and had a Deke. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, I have absolutely nothing to say about this season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The only thing, I didn't watch all of it, so the only thing that I can say is shout out to General Anya, who made a cameo playing Sky's mom, because Anya is fucking awesome, and hashtag Lexa deserve better.
Oh, it's just too much. I love me some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I have seen every single episode, and yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is my shit. I love that.
The only thing I wish they would do is bring back the Ghost Rider. Okay.
Oh, he's coming back. Don't get it twisted. He is absolutely. He's already made the pact with Coulson, so that's got to come to fruition. That's a done deal. Coulson's dying. He's going to hell, and he's got to take the spot of the Ghost Rider. That's the way they set it up. That's a done deal.
No, unfortunately, and Robin said it herself, Philip J. Coulson is going to die. He must die. And remember, Yo-Yo knows that he must die. So at some point, unfortunately, even though Philip J. Coulson is the heart of the team, Philip J. Coulson must die, and he must die permanently.
I don't know, because they know when the Yo-Yo in the future, he's dead.
No, damn it. Coulson should live.
Absolutely. And in the future, he does live, and that's why shit's fucked off, but he does live. So do you think they really kill him off, or do you think they just let him live and let it go to that new place where they've showed it?
Can Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really stand up without Coulson? I mean, May is great. I love May, but can her and Quake pull the show without him?
No, because Quake sucks.
You know what, my brother? You are the worst, okay?
Damn it, can you stop pulling the fucking Monero right now with the accent? Stop it.
Here, I got one for you. What is Mac's actual first name on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Give me that. What's Mac's real first name?
His first name is Alonzo.
Oh, my man knows what's happening. He's like, shit, don't ask me twice. I got you. I like that. That's pretty sick.
When you're a fan, bro. That's how it rolls. We nerds around here. Why are you surprised?
He said, boom. All right, here, I got a little harder one for you. What was the name of the prison guard that Jess killed? The prison guard that was abusing Jess's mom. What was his name?
Doesn't matter.
Lockdown. That's a tough question.
Serial killer that died when he was
I'm just saying, that is a tough question. Chat, can anybody in the chat tell me what that guard's name was?
Random guard that needed to fuck off. He got the Dexter treatment, and it was great.
AK, what is JJ's middle name? What is Jessica Jones' middle name?
Fuck. What is it? Campbell?
Oh, nicely done, madam. Nicely done.
Told you fucking with nerds, son. Come on, man.
Shit. BBM, where did Jessica Jones get her middle name?
I just said that.
You said what her name was.
I said it was her mom's maiden name.
Oh, shit. I didn't hear that part. You already got it then. Damn. Okay, Don Willie said this earlier in the stream. BBM, where did Jessica Jones get the name for her business? Where did she come up with the name Alias?
Her dead ex-boyfriend.
You guys are on top of shit. That is fairly impressive.
So I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how many more I can answer right now.
I was about to say. All right, this is for anybody.
Toss the questions out though.
This is for anybody on the panel. What does Jessica Jones call Captain America? Can the chat beat the panel? What does Jessica Jones call Captain America?
Call him anything?
I know
she has a nickname for him. What is it?
I know it was related to when she picked up the boy's toy, but I do not remember what she called him.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2. Anybody in the chat? It's not Cap. It is the flag waver.
Just go with the sarcasm.
Take it back to an easier one. Who is the doctor that made Jessica Jones and her mom? What's his name?
Carl?
Carl what?
Yeah, can't tell you. All I know is Carl.
Dr. Carl Mollis. Here's a real tough one. What was the name of the doctor that brought Jessica Jones and her mom to the Gentech clinic that made them?
I got nothing on that.
Die hard, Jessica Jones.
I got absolutely nothing on that.
That's I put that one.
When I binge these series, so extreme little tiny details, sometimes I miss.
I'm not even going to answer this one out loud. I'm just going to put it out there, and when people are watching this later, if they get it that far, that'll be something fun for them to go watch. What was the name of the doctor that brought Jessica Jones and her mom to Gentech Clinic that made them? There is a doctor.
Put it in the chat. The chat actually shows up on the videos now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just going to let it go. Maybe I'll type it in here in a little bit, right when we're getting ready to end here. I got another hard one. What name did Jess give when she was finding out the information on her mom's prison guard? She said, "Hello, this is so-and-so. I want to find out about this prison guard." What was the name that she gave? That's a super tough one.
Yeah, you got me on that. Moni said not Spock. That's as good as any other name to me.
And then third and the last question, this is a tough one, but a little easier than the last one. But what was the name of the prison guard that Jess killed? What was the name of that vicious prison guard that was abusing Jessica's mom? What was his name? 3 questions.
Ask that already?
Can figure out. What's that?
Didn't you ask that already?
Earlier on? I don't think so. Can you answer it?
That was one of the first questions you asked.
Oh, right out of the gate. Well, let's see if anybody can answer that and put it in the chat and put it in there later down in the description. What was the name of the prison guard that Jessica killed? What was his name? I don't think I asked that one. Like what his name was.
Yeah, you asked what his name was.
Because I said it was random fuckhead guard that.
Feel it. Well, there's a couple questions later. We'll put them down in the descriptions and see how many people answered those right. I think we need to wrap this up. We've been going for a while. We got the 4 hours on the stream going. I think that's about the perfect time. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out. This is my very first time with Don Willie. I appreciate you being here. AK, it's been too long. BBM, we always have a blast. But, man, I just want to thank you guys for being here. Don Willie, tell everybody where you are and where they can expect, what they can expect for you coming in the next couple of weeks.
All right. So hopefully if I get this new computer, because I had to buy a new computer just for live streaming. That's not the one I'm using right now, but if I can get that one together in the next couple of days, I will be back for another edition of Ice and Fire Opinions, and I may do a new kind of thing called Ice and Fireside Chats, where it's not me necessarily just talking about my opinions, but being as interactive with the people in the chat, and if I can get some guests on, that'll be awesome too. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, and sooner or later I'll actually get to doing some regular videos again. I'll be honest with you, man. YouTube has just been on some bullshit, and I've just been too lazy to deal with their bullshit. So it's what happens sometimes, but I'm trying to stay motivated.
Well, we're glad you do, and we appreciate you. The more videos, the better. We always love seeing Don Willie up there. I really want to give a shout out. I thank you. This is our first time together on a live stream, and it was a blast. Hope we get to do more in the future. And man, I had a great time tonight. So I'm glad you came. Thank you very much for being here. AK, tell them about you. What are you going to be doing in the next couple of weeks?
Next couple of weeks, I think you guys pay attention to the Walking Bread channel. I think we're gonna have issue 116 of The Walking Dead coming out. Probably gonna do something with my girls. There's a ginger ale chat coming up next month. Stay tuned to Monero's channel for that. That's where we always hold the ginger ale chats. I will most likely live stream a few clips from Ice and Fire Con at the end of this month, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, you can catch me randomly on any of these gentlemen's channels. DJ, always happy to hang out with you. I'm glad. I think this is actually my first time on your channel, so I'm glad to be here. And BBM, we always hang out down Willie. If you do ever have guest stars on the show, I'm always down. Hit a sister up. And that's just what it is. I mean, I'm on other people's channels way more than I'm on my own. I am trying to set up some stuff upcoming for this year's Halloween. Probably going to do some stuff with BBM and Live again. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I'm just random. I can't promise videos, but sometimes you'll see me on. So always appreciate being here. Thanks for having me, DJ. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. So glad having you here. We love AK. So glad to see you here. Live stream superstar. We always love seeing AK. BBM, one of the greatest reviewers out there. I'll tell you what, I don't even really watch a whole lot of recaps and reviews, but my man puts a couple on. He does the Gotham, which I really like, and a bunch of others. So if you have not checked out BBM94, make sure you do so. He's got just about every recap out there that's worth watching. So make sure you get to his channel. But BBM, tell him what else you do.
You hyping me so much that when people come over to my channel and be like, this is terrible reviews and stuff. But yeah, for starters, thank you for having me, DJ. Let's say freaking JD, like what the hell? But yeah, even though it is reverse though, JD, DJ, Blackfire, I'm telling you, Blackfire there. But yeah, I think the first time I was on your channel was either from Game of Thrones or Westworld. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm guessing in Westworld around the corner, we're probably going to get videos and stuff from you, though. So I'm probably going to look forward to that. But yeah, Brokeblackman 94 YouTube channel. Do a reaction to a whole bunch of shows. Some Marvel, like Legion, The Gifted, The Runaways. I have done so. I'm still continuing with this season of Legion, which we should have talked about. But who knows? Maybe next, Marvel stream or whatever. I might talk about Legion. That is a fucking kick-ass show. Highly recommend. But other than that, again, reaction reviews, other TV shows like The Flash, Supernatural, Gotham, that DJ did say, as well as other ones from the originals, even though it's other, and the 100, which AK despises ever since they killed off Lexa.
Lexa deserves better.
Yeah, but once again, thank you for having me, DJ, and talking to you, AK, with your many titles. I'm too tired to even name them all, but you know them. And again, good talking to you again down below. I remember talking to you before was a Star Wars, and now it's Marvel. So this is going down the fandom, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. We're going to get it in. We might do another one. The next one might be DC. The next one might be Return of the Jedi, the likes, the loves, the hates. We might get into it. We're going to be doing a couple more. We're going to be taking it down the road. Also got another podcast I'm going to be starting off. What is it? Drunk on Ice, High on Fire podcast coming up with my man Johnny Indy Boots. So we're going to be getting that all lit up. I'm going to be trying to bring these guys back and maybe do a DC chat, maybe do a Return of the Jedi Star Wars chat. So we're going to be getting into that. I'm going to be going live chats a lot more. We got a long wait before Game of Thrones comes back, and that's where I get it in. So we're going to be doing all sorts of stuff. We're going to go Marvel. We're going to go DC. We're going to talk about Star Wars. I can't go that far into it, but I definitely got some questions and would love to hear these guys' answers on some of it, because when Princess Leia starts breathing in space, I got questions. So we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna start talking to people. What is it, AK?
Real quick, I'm sorry. I just want to promote tomorrow. myself, BBM, and Lav are doing book club. We are reviewing and chatting about Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. So check us out on Lav's channel. I believe it's called Loving Shadow now. So hit us up tomorrow.
Wait, it may not be on the channel though.
Oh no, that's right. That's right. It's probably going to be on. It's going to be on either yours or Monero's because my PC.
If you're gonna pump it, tell them the right channel to go to now. Come on.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot Lav's channel was having issues. So look out for a notification from either Brokeblackman 94 or Monero Geek TV tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be reviewing Good Omens.
Absolutely. Check them out. If you're into reading books and you want to hear some funny, good looks on it, make sure you check that out. The Book Club with Monero. You got Lav, BBM, and AK. You know, that's going to be a lot of fun. Always worth definitely worth checking out. Like I said, I'm going to be starting the Drunk on Ice, High on Fire podcast here pretty soon. I'm going to be bringing some people in. My man Johnny Indy Boots, Snafu, Andy from What Door. Of course, we're going to be getting into Westworld. You already know. If you go back and look back at some of our other videos, we figured out most of it before it came out. So we're going to be getting back into that and trying to figure it out before it actually shows and doing what we do. So for everybody that watches this later, for everybody that was here with us tonight, we really want to appreciate you for being here. Thank you for coming out, and look forward to seeing you the next time. I want to thank my cast for coming out with me. Don Willie, fucking AK, BBM, some of my favorites in the fucking YouTube universe. Thank you so much for being here. Couldn't have done it without you. Look forward to doing the next one, and we will see everybody around the way. Peace out and game on. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.